The MCU, we kind of started off good with a Hulk, and then they just neutered my boy. What they do to my boy, Adrian?
I don't know. They put Ruffalo in him. That's what they did.
The last time we saw Mark Ruffalo's Hulk was in She-Hulk, meditating and training and getting his ass whooped by She-Hulk, pretty much.
So how do you have instantaneous healing power, but you're walking around with a sling?
Now, Spider-Man versus Hulk.
Hulk could pulverize Spider-Man.
I think so, too. Perfect fast food meal would be, I'd get the Whopper from Burger King, I get the fries from McDonald's, and the nuggets from Wendy's.
I fuck the nuggets from Wendy's. but I would get that Frosty, though.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be it.
With fries. The Last of Us. Season 2, season finale. What in the actual fuck? Why y'all such Marvel shills? The fuck? What's a shill, by the way?
Exactly. It sounds like we lean heavily toward Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because they're fucking better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, why are you so much? Because they put out better content. I don't know. Why does the Chiefs have so many fans, Adrian? Because they win fucking Super Bowls. Why don't you like the Browns? Because they suck. Come on, dude. Are we that delusional? Has Marvel not been putting out better products than DC for a long time?
Absolutely.
All right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. That's Adrian.
What's up?
What's up, bro?
Living the life, baby. Living the life.
Living the dream, bro.
Yeah.
So dude, it's every week you kind of give us like a little weather update. Are you thinking summer's gonna hit this week, bro?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Damn.
I mean, it's freezing out, dude. I had to like put on long pants today. It's like, this is bullshit.
Dude, we're never gonna have a summer. You might as well close your pool back up.
Right?
What's the point?
I don't know. My granddaughter, though, she still gets in there. It's 60 degrees and she's in it, dude. Them kids, they come out, their lips all purple and shit.
Shivering.
They don't care, dude. They just jump right in it.
I was gonna get a Blackstone grill this year, but I'm like, for what? If I can't even fucking use it, dude.
I've been using it though.
Yo,
because I have a pergola.
Okay.
So I built an outdoor kitchen.
Yep.
So and it's covered. So I'm good. I just walk out of the kitchen, walk down a couple steps, and boom, I'm right there. So I've been grilling for a little bit now.
There you go. I see you got the Hulk gear on today, bro.
That's it.
We got some Hulk news, Adrian, coming up. There's some rumors.
Okay.
And I was watching some Hulk because Hulk's dude, when I was a kid, I think he was one of my first like favorite comic characters.
Yep.
Right? Remember we had the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, right? But Hulk was always like, as a kid, he's cool as shit. He's big as fuck. He's strong as shit, right? And then the MCU, we kind of started off good with a Hulk, and then they just neutered my boy. What they do to my boy, Adrian?
I don't know. They put Ruffalo in him. That's what they did.
You're not a big Ruffalo guy.
Nah, he don't. He just don't fit it at all for me.
Now, obviously, as Bruce Banner, no fit at all?
No.
It is weird.
He's too big. And then when he's the Hulk, his features are too, he's not Hulk. I don't know how to say, he's not Hulkish. Now, when they did the Red Hulk, that was perfection.
Yep, absolutely.
That was perfection.
I went back, I was watching a little bit of Incredible Hulk, which I think that movie gets too much shit. By all means, it's not like the best MCU movie ever, but it's better than like Thor, Dark World, some of those really bad ones. And Hulk they do a good job with Hulk there. I'm not crazy about the design. The face looks a little odd because I don't like when they try to make Hulk look like the actor.
Right.
He shouldn't look like the actor.
No.
Like Hulk in the comics looks nothing like Bruce Banner.
Nothing at all. Even though, again, with the Red Hulk, they did a very good job because Harrison Ford's face is different. It's just different.
A little Hulkish.
It is. Yeah. Dude looks like he can like be angry at any time.
Correct. Yep. No doubt. Well, Adrian, we're gonna hop into the news, dude. We got some news this week. We got some Avengers Doomsday news.
All right.
You know back to me. So Doomsday, we learned last week, Adrian, that they pushed Doomsday back, for another like 7 months or so. Okay. And I've come down. I'm okay now. I was a little upset at first, but I think it is for the better. Hey, take your time, dude. Make a badass movie. We'll just wait. It's okay. We got nothing better to do. But there's some rumors about this movie's plot. The rumor that just dropped was that Doomsday reportedly begins in Wakanda. Okay. Wakanda was a big piece of Infinity War, right? With your girl Shuri, Namor, and M'Baku. They all got new costumes. And the Sentinels that we saw in front of the X Mansion, remember these set photos, right? Where the kid got a warning, by the way. Someone was taking, they were like, bro, knock the shit off.
All right.
So we haven't seen any set photos this week because they told him, like, bro, and I don't think it was like a nice warning. It probably threatened him, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, but the Sentinels that we saw scattered in front of the X-Mansion are rumored to be under Doctor Doom's control, okay? And then they fight the X-Men, joined by Deadpool, Gambit, Shang-Chi, Invisible Woman, so on and so forth. Now, these rumors, we take these rumors with a grain of salt, right? Whatever the fuck that means. What does that mean, by the way, with a grain of salt?
I don't know.
It just means like don't be, you know, it's not a fact, right? How do you feel about Doom potentially controlling Sentinels? Now, for me, when I hear that, my head goes to Doombots, right? Like, and now this ain't Doombots, it's the Sentinels, but it's not beyond Doom to do something like that, right?
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean, Doombots are designed to replace Doom under any circumstance.
Right.
Like he's literally gone to like political things, like in a Sokovia Accord level things, you know, Doombots. So all kinds of situations. So what I'm saying is they are programmed to respond, react, to be indistinguishable from him.
Right.
Meaning that Doom has a very high level of technology, sophistication in these things, and very high level of control.
Right.
And I'm thinking the Sentinels probably aren't that sophisticated.
No.
So it's not beyond him to be able to control them at all.
And it sounds like something he would do, right?
Sure. Why not?
For whatever reason, maybe he doesn't have Doombots yet. Who knows, right? But hey, you got these Sentinels. Why not take them over and attack some shit, you know? Or maybe he's trying to create some type of war or battle between some groups and they don't know Doom's controlling them in the beginning. Who knows?
Yeah, if you just want to start some shit, take over something that somebody else owns, right? You know, make Superman, you know, control his mind and then have him go and destroy New York, kind of,
there you go.
Or Metropolis.
Right. Again, sounds pretty Doomish, right? But hearing stuff like this, it just kind of reminds you how dynamic of a character Doom is. And that's why I said last week, Dr. Doom is an upgrade from Kang.
Right.
No, not, I mean, Jonathan Major's great. I'm taking the actors out of it. Character for character. Kang in the comics, Doom in the comics. Doom's up here, Kang's here for me.
Right. Because Doom is multifaceted while Kang is just bent on just, you know, global universal domination.
Right.
He has one gear high. That's it.
Correct.
Doom's a little bit more interesting than that.
Yeah. It's, and he's an intriguing character on plenty of fronts. We talk about him a lot here, how depending on, Doom's the kind of guy, depending on who you ask, you're going to get 10 different versions of who Doom is, right? If you're Latvian, you're like, that's my guy, bro. He's my hero. If you're...
Well, they might not say that. They'll probably say more like, he's my protector.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Now, if you live in one of these, you know, opposing countries, you probably hate him, right? If you're one of the Avengers, depending on the day, you can't stand him.
Right.
If you're one of the Richards, I mean, Sue, you may like him, or, you know, Reed, you may not. Who knows? It depends on the day.
Hey, Doom's on site and Sue walks around a little moist.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, shit, he's got Valeria calling him uncle, you know, shit. So another rumor here about this movie is they're filming on a site, the Windsor Castle. You know what the Windsor Castle is, right?
Britain. Great Britain.
There you go. Now, if you go to our super shot here, Adrian, here we go. Look at this. Look at this aerial shot here of Windsor Castle. Now, that could be many different locations, right? When you first initially see it, I'm like, it could be the X-Men school.
Yeah.
It could be Doom's Castle in Latveria, right? The rumor is this is going to, I got another shot here, two of it. Rumor is this is going to be Magneto's Citadel in Battleworld.
Okay.
I could also see it as that purpose as well, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I mean, just I'm liking it. Nice shot.
So, is this cheaper than them building a set?
Probably,
you know?
Especially a set that big.
Well, I mean, you only have to do certain shots. You know, do like you can like take this shot, superimpose it, zoom in and out, and then you can put up like a fake front, you know, for entryway. Then do a room or two. I'm just curious if you know, but hey, I mean, this is cool.
Yeah,
if they can pull it off.
Yeah, and I like the idea. Like when I first saw it, I was like, "This is going to be Doom's Castle."
Yeah,
but hearing the Magneto thing, that makes sense too.
Yeah,
you know, and hopefully Magneto is a big presence. I guess my only thing is, you know, you got Ian McKellen. I love him, but he's
Yeah, a little older.
A little old, a little older, you know. He doesn't buy green bananas anymore, as they say. So, anyways,
I literally never heard that.
You never heard that, dude?
Nah.
Well, think about it, right? You know,
What?
like green bananas, you can't eat them right away, right?
Okay.
So if you're old, you don't want to buy some bananas that you gotta wait around. You might croak while these things are ripening. So one more thing about the X-Men being present in Doomsday. The other rumor is we're going to see the X-Men that we see is going to be similar to the version of the X-Men characters we saw in Deadpool Wolverine, where they are, what I mean by that is they're based on the Fox universe, right? But we're going to see them in comic accurate suits. Like we're going to see them a little bit different than how we remember some of these characters in a nutshell, which I'm fine with. And I almost look at it like, I don't know that I look at this as the exact Fox universe. Think about, what was the Spider-Man show we just watched? Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man?
Yep.
Where it was like a version of the MCU Spider-Man, but a different one. Like the way I viewed that was, this is just an alternate reality of the MCU.
Okay.
Like another universe, right? We're multiverse now, because it is basically based on Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but you got Norman in there instead of Tony as his mentor and things like that. I think that's the version of X-Men we're getting now, is like, it's just another reality, another universe of the Fox universe, in my opinion. And that's kind of how I look, because like, what did they just one day decided to stop wearing these dominatrix type, black leather suits, but who knows? Anyways, moving on to bigger and better rumors, Adrian. You got the Hulk stuff.
Yep.
We talked about neutered Hulk. So remember before neutered Hulk, we had Savage Hulk?
Yes.
There's a rumor right now. So one of the other, we talked about this last week, how pushing Doomsday and Secret Wars back. Now, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be released before these movies. So we're like, what are the chances that maybe it's not a big multiverse fest? Maybe it's more of a grounded story. And sounds like that may be what we're getting. So Savage Hulk right now is rumored to be the main antagonist in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they're going to need to explain how we get there, because the last time we saw Bruce Banner's Hulk, or Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, was in She-Hulk, fucking meditating and training his sister or his cousin and getting his ass whipped by She-Hulk, pretty much.
So how do you have instantaneous healing power, but you're walking around with a sling, an arm sling? That's like, I'm running for public office. Let me pretend to get shot in the ear, and then I'll wear a patch for the next month so I can get reelected.
What are you saying, Adrian?
I'm just hypothetically,
Right, yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know, dude. That part, that was one of the many things that bothered me about the Smart Hulk. It was funny. It's kind of like Fat Thor. It was funny for a scene.
That wasn't funny at all. It wasn't funny at all. Fat or Split.
Okay.
Neither one funny.
Well, yeah, I'm not down with the Split. But for me in Endgame, it was funny, and then it got old real quick.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing with the Smart Hulk. Like, it was kind of jarring to see him like, I remember when you first saw him in the diner, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Right.
Like, it's Hulk, but it's Bruce, it's Mark Ruffalo, and he's talking, and he's smaller. What the hell?
Right.
And then real quick, it got old.
Yeah.
And then even in that movie, when they go back in time in Endgame, and he sees the old version of himself, remember when he's like, oh God, he's like embarrassed? You almost see like, damn, I wish we would have had that Hulk.
Yeah.
So anyway, somehow they got to go from that Smart Hulk back to Savage Hulk. I mean, there's plenty of ways they could do it, right?
Yeah, just make the Harrison Ford Red Hulk green, and you're all set.
There you go. That's the other thing. Could it be, is it the Mark Ruffalo Hulk, or is it another version? Who knows?
Who knows?
I hope they just take unfortunately, we're probably stuck with Mark Ruffalo until this Secret Wars and all this stuff is done. But I hope they figure out a way, explain. You don't even really have to explain it. Just have fucking Savage Hulk show up. Who cares? It's been that bad, It's kind of like the recast T'Challa. Just drop him in. Who cares?
Well, they don't have to keep Ruffalo, just like they didn't keep Gal Gadot, just like they didn't keep Superboy, the Superman boy or whatever. They just dumped everybody, clean house.
True.
They can do that at any time, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna get rid of your boy Mark. But so what we've heard so far about this is that there's also going to be some street level villains in here: Scorpion, Boomerang, Tombstone, and Mr. Negative, and they're going to market this, though, as a Spider-Man versus Hulk movie. Now, again, these are all rumors. when I hear this, I wonder if, because Sony is famous or infamous for doing this. Oh, the multiverse worked over there. Let's do it in our movie. Oh, that worked over there. Let's do it in our movie. We know that outside of the Spider-Man movies, Sony's universe fucking sucked.
Right. So we're not creative. We just steal everything.
Yes. So when I hear this, I go, like, I'm excited to see Savage Hulk regardless, but I wonder if Sony is trying to recreate Deadpool and Wolverine in a way.
Of course.
Right?
It was hugely successful.
And it was kind of a Deadpool versus Wolverine movie for a chunk of it. And then they ended up joining forces, right? Teaming up. But we got a couple badass Hulk or Wolverine Spider-Man fights.
Right.
So who's to say that they're not trying to, which may not be a bad thing here.
Right.
Sometimes, copying something and do another version of it's not bad.
No.
If the movie's good.
Sure. But whatever you do, please, whoever's watching us today, can somebody please redo Colossus? Please. Because
You don't like that Colossus?
No, huh? Not at all, dude. He just, I don't know. He's almost like a fat Thor to me.
Okay. His look?
The look. It's the look. He's he's almost like the Ruffalo Hulk to me.
A little too husky.
Yeah.
Got it. You want him more chiseled out.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I didn't mind him. I thought he was a good addition to the Deadpool movie. I kind of wish he was in Deadpool Wolverine a little bit. But I mean, listen, comic book movies, they have a history of this. One movie works, and they take that formula and redo it a few times, right?
And that's cool.
Hey, if it worked there, I think it would work here.
Yeah, but except for DC. DC has a tendency to, hey, let's do this thing. Oh, it's cool. Let's not do that. Let's start from scratch again, and then we fuck up the next 10 of them.
We need more slow-mo. Put more slow-mo in that bitch.
No, extra slow-mo.
Yes.
That's extra.
Absolutely. And let's make the movie 9 fucking hours long. Like, come on, dude. 3 hours and change is like the max, dude. Right. And that's like gotta be, that's like an Endgame movie, right? They made their first damn, the Snyder Cut 4 it had to have chapters, dude. If a movie has to have a bathroom break, it's too long. Okay. Right.
It's like a R&B wardrobe change in a concert.
Mm-hmm. Seriously. Now Spider-Man versus Hulk. So we're gonna do a little impromptu verses right here. All right. Before we even dig into, even really think about it, off the bat, who do you say wins this?
I mean, if they can't get away, I mean, Hulk will pulverize Spider-Man.
I think so too.
But this is one of those situations where, like, I've decided to get a red truck, whatever it is. And then once I decide to see a red truck, I've never seen red trucks before. There's only 8 people in the town that I live in, but all of a sudden, everybody has a red truck, right? So this is one of those situations with Spider-Man and the Hulk. You don't realize how many team ups they've had in the past. Right. It's almost like Spider-Man and the Hulk have been together in cartoons, in comic books. I mean, just all over the place except the movies, right?
Right.
So it's almost like they're like a, like a Batman and Robin kind of a situation because they've been together so much. Not necessarily even fighting each other, just posing, marketing, all this other kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And I think there definitely was a time before all these movies where they were 2 of the most popular Marvel characters.
Right.
Like it's why their rights were sold off first, right? It's like almost why we got the Avengers was they pimped out the Spider-Man rights, the Hulk rights, because Marvel was going bankrupt. Right. And these were their most popular characters. The other studios, they didn't even want the damn. I mean, Sony had the option to buy all of the characters, and they're like, no, keep that bullshit. Just give us Spider-Man. And Hulk was already taken, I think, by Universal. Ain't that some shit?
Wow.
But you remember when these 2 were like, you think Marvel, you thought these 2.
Right.
And then maybe Wolverine's probably in there, right?
Nah. I mean, back when I was reading, it was like Hulk and Spider-Man was it, dude. I mean, of course, I was into the tech, so, slam with the Iron Man and the Fantastic Four. But the Hulk and Spider-Man were, I mean, remember, those were, the first couple of movies that came out in the 70s. The Hulk with that sheepskin wearing Thor and Spider-Man, which I still like to this day.
Yeah.
That version of the Spider-Man.
Right. And then they were some of the first movies. I mean, Hulk's had more solo movies than a lot of these guys, right?
Yep.
You had the back in the day, the old Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Then you had the Eric Bana Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
right? I never really saw that whole movie. That's when he actually gets really big when he's angry and shit. And then you had the Edward Norton Hulk, which I like his Bruce Banner way more than Mark Ruffalo's.
Oh, absolutely, because Bruce Banner is a geek. He's a medium-sized guy. He's like 5'7", 5'8", something like that. Skinny, bespectacled, scientist.
Right.
Genius level scientist. Mark Ruffalo is like a retired, linebacker or something that, fell and broke his hip. Now he's the Hulk.
Yep. Yeah, I would really like to know what went through their mind when they were casting him and also it wasn't like this was, hey, a new incarnation of Bruce Banner. You were replacing Edward Norton.
Right.
Like, why not get someone that's about the same size?
Exactly.
That's also one of the highlights of that Incredible Hulk movie. If you rewatch it, is Edward Norton playing Bruce Banner. It feels like Bruce Banner.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo does not feel like Bruce
At
Banner.
all.
He just feels like some fucking dude who's about to turn into the Hulk.
Right. Doesn't feel like Bruce Banner or the Hulk.
No. All right. So Spider-Man, Peter Parker, superhuman strength.
Yep.
Chat says he's about 10 to 25 tons he can lift.
Correct.
Speed, super agility.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the spider sense, so he can kind of detect danger, right? And I guess to sum it up, he's genius level intellect, because why not? He's in the comics, right? He's a skilled tactician. He's got his web shooters. Now, there's a few instances where they come out of his body, but for the most part, it's just a web shooter. He can wall crawl, right? And he's pretty durable for his size.
Yep.
Acrobatics. He's kind of a hit and run kind of guy. Web traps, improvisation. How the fuck you say it? I can't talk today.
Like you just said.
Yeah, there you go. That too. So he's pretty badass, dude.
Right.
I also think sometimes people see him and think he's a teenager. You don't realize how strong he is because you're always thinking about the webs and the swinging.
Right.
But he's strong as shit.
Well, but also besides the strength, and it's interesting, that we have this topic because when I get into the hidden gem, I'm gonna break down some of the things that you just talked about.
Okay.
Right. It's interesting. So he's kind of like if you think about Spider-Man, Batman, Daredevil.
Yep.
Batman is the most amazing of all because he literally has zero superpowers.
Right? People say we're DC haters, Adrian. Shut the fuck up. See that? He just literally said Batman's like the most amazing person in the world or something. Whatever you said.
So because he has no spider sense, he has no radar, he has no strength, he has no nothing. He's just got some tools, right? And his skill, which is why he's honed his body to the way that he has.
Right.
Daredevil is kind of in between. He's got the radar thing and so on and so forth. And obviously he can, touch a painting and find out who people are.
That's my girlfriend.
Exactly. But outside of that, he's a regular dude. And then you got Spider-Man, right? But the thing about Spider-Man is look at the people that he goes up against, but he only has, the one, if you want to call it a offensive weapon, the web shooters.
Right.
He has the web shooters can be projectiles. He can pretty much make them whatever he wants, but he really has nothing else. Just like Daredevil really has nothing else other than the stick. Batman, he's got a whole array of shit, right? But he's also compensating for the fact that he literally has nothing else. Right. So the baddest people have the least amount of power, I'll say.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even for me as a kid, I always thought of Spider-Man as just the you can swing.
Right.
But
and stick to shit.
He's stronger than Captain America.
Oh, by leaps and bounds.
A lot.
By leaps and bounds, yeah.
And I don't think most people understand that. Like when you see that, you think because Cap's bigger, because he took the super soldier serum and all that he is stronger. Now, stronger doesn't always mean you're going to win. That's the thing too. Like he's stronger. Dude, if you've ever seen like a boxing match, an MMA fight, or even a real fight in the streets, the stronger person doesn't always win.
Right. Because there's also stamina, there's fighting skills. That's another thing that we're going to cover. Man, it's like you read my mind, dude. We're right into the hidden gem.
We might as well do hidden gem right now. All right, pause this, go to hidden gem. No, that would fuck us up. All right. We'd be really confused. But I think that isn't talked about enough. People, I think you look to Spidey's speed and agility and spider sense before you think about his strength and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Just like what I'm going to say about Hulk, there's his regenerative healing factor is rarely talked about.
Right.
It's rarely talked about to the extent where you can have him with a sling in his arm, and people don't even question it because you don't even know how badass of a healer he is.
Right. I mean, the most accurate thing that I've seen regarding his strength was that thing that this somebody made.
Oh, the Superman fight.
The Superman Hulk fight on YouTube, where Superman, jabs his hands into the Hulk's chest to try to rip his heart out or something, and Hulk pulls his hands out, and his heart is healing and his body's healing while he's doing it. Superman like froze his hands up in space, broke them off, and then next thing you see is this
growing back.
this gamma radiation boom because Hulk grew his hands back and he's slapping himself all across the space and shit. So nobody talks about that at all.
No.
Except now Wolverine, they don't. He's all healing power and claws, right? But they don't talk about his skill, durability, all these other things.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let's go through Hulk real quick. So Bruce Banner's Hulk. His strength grows with rage. This is another thing that we've not seen done properly on screen yet. I think we've seen a little bit of it with the Red Hulk, right? A little bit. The angrier guy. I mean, his skin is literally like putting off steam, right? Because there's a heat factor there with Red Hulk.
Right.
But we did see him get stronger as he got angrier. We've not really seen that with regular Green Hulk.
Right.
A little bit, if you remember in Age of Ultron when Wanda makes him go crazy and, Tony gets the Hulk Buster, we see a little bit of, but still not to, I don't think Tony with the Hulk Buster is going to stop a straight out upset Hulk as he gets angrier.
No.
Right. So his strength really has no upper limit because his anger has no upper limit. So the more pissed off he gets, sounds like a lot of my old friends when they would get drunk, Now he's got the regenerative healing factor. Would you say it's on par with Wolverine and Deadpool? It's better. It's somewhere in between.
I would say to a degree it's better.
Okay.
Because again, I'm assuming that the angrier he gets, the healing factor improves too.
Okay. He's got those thunderclaps, dude. That thing will send your ass to the next fucking city.
Right.
And he can leap miles.
Correct.
Miles in a single bound.
Correct.
Miles.
And he can run extremely fast too.
Yep. Dude, I was playing a lot of Rivals lately, and he's a character I started using a lot more. So he's a unique character where you start as Bruce Banner, this scrawny ass he's got a little fucking laser gun and like a grenade.
Right.
He sucks. But if you got a good aim, you can take some people out. And then you hit, your ult, which you start with this as Bruce Banner, and then you can turn to the Hulk. And he's got this leap. The longer you hold the jump button, dude, he can jump. Now, in the game, it's not miles.
Sure.
But it's halfway, to the other side of your screen, pretty much. Pretty badass. He's got the thunderclap and then things of that nature. And he's nearly indestructible. His skin and bones.
Right.
Right? Wolverine couldn't penetrate his skin, but most people are not. You ain't going to bruise the Hulk or fucking cut him with,
Right.
And his fighting styles pretty much smash everything in sight. Right. It's just raw power.
Correct.
So it'd be a fun fight to see on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think the best Hulk fight we've seen on screen so far in the MCU was in Thor Ragnarok when he fights Thor and the Conquest of Champions when he shows up on whatever that planet is, the garbage dump planet with the Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Dude, that was probably the best display of a Hulk fight that we've ever seen.
Well, fight, yes, but I also think on par is probably with the Edward Norton Hulk when the army came out and he changed
at the college.
At the college, yeah,
that was pretty entertaining. I actually just watched that the other day. That is badass, and they have those sound waves and then. Dude, he's just fighting. They don't know what to do. They got him pinned, and then all of a sudden he takes the car or the tank that he split in half and wrecks those fucking things. That was pretty cool.
I don't understand how when they think about these in the comics, I know they have to do something, right?
Yeah.
So they think about, okay, we're gonna the Hulk's power is strength, so we're gonna match strength with strength. But you don't think about the other things that he can do.
Right.
So we're gonna hit him with these sonic things. But if I rip a car door off and throw it at your sonic things, which is basically aluminum, right? Then those are gone.
Correct.
Or Magneto. In the comic books, they spend billions of dollars coming after this cat with plastic helicopters. And what does he do? He pulls a metal post
from the ground,
lamp post from the ground, and uses it as a projectile and destroy the helicopters.
Right.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. So all right, let's get back to versus. These two fighting. Their strength. Spider-Man's really strong, but he's capped.
Yep.
Hulk's basically infinite.
Right.
Spider-Man's got him with speed and reflexes. I mean,
Incorrect.
He doesn't.
Spider-Man has him with reflexes,
Okay.
not speed.
You don't think Spider-Man's faster than Hulk?
No.
But he's got quicker reflexes.
Correct.
Okay.
And the advantage of the Spidey sense.
Right. He literally can dodge bullets and lightning.
Correct.
Which is insane. But Hulk can actually he can, as it says here, tag fast characters once enraged.
Right.
So he may not be, acceleration wise is quick, but he can fucking stop you.
Right.
If he gets angry enough. Now Spider-Man's pretty durable. We've seen him get his ass whooped and keep going.
Buildings fall on him, shit like that. Yep.
I would say Hulk is more durable, right?
Absolutely.
He's kind of tank level. He can absorb explosions, missiles, god punches. I mean, we talk about the fight with Thor. Thor's a god, dude.
Right.
And Hulk's literally going, blow for blow with him.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, so think about this, right? So there's two things. You got Wolverine, which is not a lot of force. Wolverine is strong. He's like he's like Captain America level.
Okay,
800 pounds.
Well, Spider-Man's stronger than Wolverine.
Absolutely. Well, you're talking pounds versus tons.
Right.
Right. So, but the adamantium is a cutting capability. So think about a really sharp, like a Japanese cutting knife, right?
Yeah.
You can take a piece of paper and just lay the knife on the paper and it'll cut it in half, right? So that's the concept behind Wolverine. So you don't need a lot of power. You just need the sharpness of the blade in order to get through the Hulk skin. And that's how he's able to do that. But besides that, Hulk, a nuclear bomb, dude. He just, be pissing on a nuclear bomb and it won't even blow the spray to the side.
Right. Now,
that's an exaggeration, but I'm just saying.
Now they're not both. Bruce Banner's a genius.
Yes.
Spider-Man's a genius. Peter Parker's a genius. So when
there's different, again, hidden gem. We'll get to it later. But there's within each category, there's different levels.
Okay.
So Spider-Man is kind of like the lower level of what you would call genius, right?
Yeah.
And then
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner is like way on the other spectrum.
He's like up there with what, Hank Pym?
Yeah, like the Hank Pyms, but not the Tony Starks or the Reed Richards.
But close.
Right. And Reed Richards is really, I mean, him and Tony Stark, they have different disciplines.
Yeah.
But they both are just like, Reed Richards has that 1 in 100 year mind, and Tony Stark is like that 1 in 99 year mind.
Okay. So if it's Bruce Banner, then Bruce is smarter than Peter.
Correct.
But as Hulk ain't that smart.
Not at all.
So from that, using strategy and his gadgets and things like that, Spider-Man's gonna have a little bit of an advantage there.
Sure.
Now again, he's a little more agile. He can climb walls, but we've also seen Hulk can literally climb buildings by just, punching into the building.
Well, why jump to get to the wall when you can just bring the wall to you?
That too. Now he's got the webbing, but Hulk usually rips through that shit.
Yeah.
So these two fighting, I'm gonna say, I think it's gonna be Hulk. I think it will definitely be Hulk.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it goes, let's say it's extended,
it will be quick.
Spider-Man's, ability, his agility allows him to dodge some whatever shit the Hulk is throwing at him, the punches, so on and so forth. Eventually, he's going to get tired.
Right.
Which Hulk, he just, raged through that kind of a thing.
Correct.
And Spider-Man, he can, jump around a bunch of different places. But again, Spider-Man can jump on the building, but the Hulk can bring the whole building down.
Right.
So it's those kind of situations.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it wouldn't be quick. It wouldn't be a lay down. And I think, depending on how long it goes, like Spider-Man could survive. I don't think Hulk's going to kill him. But unless you somehow distract the Hulk and get him so fucking angry that, he's now forgot about you. But I don't.
If it's a versus, and even if Spider-Man does something, now we're assuming that he has nothing else other than the spider webs, right?
Right.
So because the Hulk typically looks at Spider-Man like a gnat, and kind of swat him away, kind of a deal. Even if Spider-Man comes at him full force, the only thing that he's gonna do is make the Hulk pay attention to him, right? Say Spider-Man gets behind him and starts trying to choke him out.
Yeah.
What is that going to do? Piss him off.
Right.
He's not going to break his neck. He's not going to do any of that stuff. He's just going to piss him off. And even if he does snap his neck, what happens? You know how many times Banner has tried to off himself?
Right.
He comes back alive. He realives himself.
Oh, he realized.
So you got that whole factor. So that's the level of healing that the Hulk has. At the very least, at the very worst, Spider-Man would just piss the Hulk off. He'll snatch him off of his neck or whatever and just crush him.
Yep. Well, there you have it. Hulk wins the versus. All right. So there's another rumor about this movie. There's a rumor that Nichole Kidman is being eyed to play a big villain in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, who could Nichole Kidman play? Is it Saber, Silver Saber, something like that? She's actually in the game. Uh-oh. Why the long face, Adrian?
Nichole Kidman is a dynamic actor.
Yeah.
Was a beautiful woman until she started to do whatever the fuck she started to do with her face. And I think being Aquaman's mother should be. Right? Yeah. She was cool. She was cool in that. That was borderline.
Yeah.
But Saber, that's a 20-something.
I'm sorry, Silver Sable. Silver Sable.
Even that. And Silver Sable is she's not Russian.
Old,
she's
right?
Israeli, I think, or something like that too. Which, if you're gonna do a White Walker, you can do Nichole Kidman.
Right.
But Silver Sable,
she's from the fictional small European state of Simkaria.
Okay.
Whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. So it's actually adjacent to Latveria, the nation ruled by Dr. Doom.
So next to Metropolis.
Yeah. Now, actually, Silver Sable and Doom, they have an annual diplomatic dinner at the Castle Doom. So now, hearing that,
now Doom is a chef. Now he's a world renowned.
Is he?
His level, his skill level, because he conquers many things.
Fucking conquers everything.
He's a world renowned level chef.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see that.
Got it. But you don't like Nichole Kidman. I haven't seen her lately. Let's.
I don't know though.
No, you don't think she can pull it off?
It's not that she can't pull it off.
Just a look.
It's just again. She's what 60 something.
She's
maybe
57, dude.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I
don't like it. I don't like it. And even. Forget about how she looks now versus then. Her face in general does not look like what I envision the Silver Sable as.
That's a European. So you got maybe the olive skin, the dark hair, somebody more physical. Why with all these fitness people, dude?
Right.
And I'm not talking about bodybuilders. There's a level that people don't understand. You got athletic, and then you got bodybuilders, but in between. There's a fitness category.
Right.
And these women and men are just, it's like a slim, what do they call it? Slim thick?
Yeah.
It's like a slim thick, muscular, real lean, very powerful looking. That's a Silver Sable. That's a Wonder Woman.
Right.
Not some skinny ass somebody just because they can play the part.
Right. And I don't think her face fits. Like Silver Sable's more of an emotionless face. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's rigid. I don't think Nichole Kidman has that bubbly like type. To me, it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit. I
don't know how to describe it. It's just not her.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Dude, there's a comic crossover happening this year, Adrian. So DC and Marvel, they've done this a handful of times in the past. Right, I think the last one may have been it was like a Justice League Avengers crossover, and then there was a Spider-Man Superman crossover maybe in the 70s. But there's two characters that are going to cross over later this year, and it's none other than a fella you mentioned earlier, the Batman, and another guy we were talking about, Wade Wilson himself, Deadpool, dude. So check this out, dude. This is the cover of one of the one-shots. So what they're doing is 2 one-shots, if that makes any sense.
So what's a one-shot?
One-shot is just a standalone comic, no series or anything like that. So it's a crossover. Marvel is doing one and DC is doing the other. So I don't know which one. Actually, this looks like it's Marvel's, and then this is DC's. So it is a story that's going to be told over 2 issues. All right, you can drop that. And what we know about it so far is the story is set to focus on Wade Wilson. It's funny, getting hired for a job in Gotham City. So Wade's in Gotham, gets a job, and whatever that job is, it puts him in the crosshair, puts him on Batman's radar. There's supposed to be a lineup of some backup adventures featuring other Marvel DC characters. That's kind of being kept under wraps right now. But this is the first crossover of this year. Deadpool meeting Batman. Like I said, it's going to include some other DC and Marvel characters meeting each other. Marvel's one shot's going to be written by Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo. So Greg Capullo, I mean, did the whole, we talked about the Court of Owls.
Right.
Remember we read that here not too long ago. So that he's kind of, he's from them. He's done a lot of other shit too, but that's just the one that sticks out to me. That's going to be released on September 17th. So Marvel's one shot comes first, and then DC's one shot written by Grant Morrison. He did the whole Son of Batman, Damian Wayne, all that good stuff, and the art by Dan Mora. That's going to be released in November, dude. So we typically here talk more about older comics than new comics, right? It's rare that we review something brand new. We're kind of more in like the classics, if you will. But hearing this, how do you feel about a Deadpool Batman crossover, dude?
I think that'd be hot, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got somebody, they're both very skilled.
Yeah.
And Wade doesn't give a shit about anything.
Right.
But it's just interesting that, so you said Wade Wilson got a job.
Yeah.
Not Deadpool. I would assume Deadpool would get a job like as an assassin.
Right.
But what is Wade Wilson going to show up?
Who the hell knows?
Right?
Fucking garbage man?
Exactly. And it's not like you're not going to recognize him.
Right.
So you're immediately on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
And you also, your identity is public.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know why you wear the mask, but because besides it's cool.
Right.
So you see Wade Wilson, you automatically know that it's Deadpool.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it, dude. And we will, as soon as they drop. I'm gonna look at when these are dropping. I'll order a bunch too for the website. So and this I will definitely review these 2 here, 2 one shots. But yeah, I'm assuming in this comic these 2 will probably have a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who wins Deadpool versus Batman, Adrian?
Deadpool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just because of the regenerative.
That, and you can't kill him.
True.
Yeah, that's the major thing.
But could Batman stop him though? Could he contain him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Batman could win. Not a death match.
No, not a death match.
But
he
stop
can't.
him.
But he can contain him. Right?
Okay. It'll be interesting to see. I got my money on Batman, dude. My boy, even though I'm a DC hater. You know I'm a DC hater? Someone told me that. A lot of people told me that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know it. And then they told me. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know.
Right. But so these crossovers, so let's make a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these crossovers where you have these characters who would normally not ever see each other.
Right. Different universes.
So DC, Batman, Marvel, Deadpool. Then you have these constants that's across both of them.
Yeah.
So you have God, the devil, Lucifer, Michael, the archangel, things like that, right?
Yep.
And then you have these characters that are owned by both. And I did a hidden gem on one of them. What's his name? Asher something.
Oh yeah. He was the first character owned by both, right?
Axel Asher.
Yes.
Or Access, right?
Yep.
He's owned by both. And it's interesting. It's an interesting agreement is that either one can use this character whenever they want to. The only thing is they cannot kill him off. So it's just a little difference between the types of not crossovers, but how these 2 comic book characters kind of like interact with each other.
Yeah.
Unlike McDonald's and Burger King. You don't see like
Whoppers at McDonald's?
Whopper Mac or some bullshit like that, right? Or Burger King chicken nuggets.
You know how they got the KFC and Taco Bell together? Right. Someone should put all 3, dude. Put a fucking Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King. Because my perfect fast food meal would be I'd get the Whopper from Burger King, I'd get the fries from McDonald's, and the nuggets from Wendy's.
I fuck them nuggets from Wendy's. but I would get that that Frosty though.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be it.
with fries.
So we just call it the burger joint.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, so I got another, since we're on that, let's throw out another idea that we're not going to get paid for.
Right.
Walmart, right? It's a huge building.
Sucks. Oh, no, that's all right.
it's a huge building,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So how about if you put an obstacle course painted on the floor and say, hey, when you guys walk in, if you follow these paths, different paths will give you different mileage.
Okay.
So if you go down this path, and of course it's a marketing thing. I mean, they're doing it anyway.
Right.
You know, when you check out, you got to go past all the fucking cooked chicken and the candy and all the shit that the kid's going to be like, Mommy, Daddy, can I have this? And you got to
slap by the fucking
slap
aisle,
them around,
yes.
all that kind of stuff. Put an obstacle course in your giant ass building, and then just a little incentive, for people to come in. I mean, they're coming in anyway. Might as well make it fun for them. I'm just saying.
It's already an obstacle course. You got to walk around crackheads. You got trip over shit people spilled. Right, clothes on the floor, garbage. Right. I mean, this Walmart we're talking, right?
Yeah.
Walmart has up. Speaking of fast food, the one up by us has Charlie's. You ever had Charlie's?
No, what is
steak and cheese, bro? Good old steak and cheese.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's better than D'Angelo's, dude. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it's up there.
D'Angelo's has gone down.
It has
over the years. That used to be the go-to.
I used to work there in high school.
A number. I want to say
9.
Number 9.
Oh yeah,
the steak and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, I used to chop it up, Adrian, and some D'Angelo's, and I was like 16. Oh yeah. Then I quit because they wouldn't give me the day off. I was like a kid, right? And I said I wanted every other Saturday off. I'm making demands at fucking D'Angelo's, and the guy lied to me though. He's like, "Yeah, we'll do that." And they kept putting me on week after week. So I said, "Bro, you said you were giving me every other because I'm a teenager. I need to hang out with my friends. I got shit to do, bro." Right. So I showed up one of the Saturdays that they had me scheduled that I wasn't supposed to be in street clothes. And I was like, yo, I came to get my check. And then the guy was freaking out. He's like, can you just stay today? Everyone else called out. I said, I don't give a fuck, and walked out. So yeah, very immature. But anyways, it was D'Angelo's. What are you gonna do? Now, I did learn how to make a badass steak and cheese, bro. So when I do get my Blackstone, bro, I'm gonna put them out of business.
No, dude, you should get a Blackstone.
Yep.
Get like a little tent, little whatever. They got plenty of stuff. Go to Ocean State.
Yep.
And get one of those sails or whatever, string it up between some stuff, dude. I think you appreciate it.
So this is Only Comics, where we discuss comics and only comics, yes.
And clearly other stuff.
Other stuff, yeah. So, and actually, speaking of other stuff, shout out to all the interns out there. We're going to have a fun show this Wednesday on other stuff. That's where we get into the other stuff, deeper, right? We're talking about some MK Ultra this week. Okay. The Stranger Things trailer just dropped for the new season, which was they kind of based a lot of that show on MK Ultra. So we're going to talk about that. That's this Wednesday, though. How do you do that? You sign up for the membership. And that's you want to help us out. People always ask us, hey, I would love to send you some coffee, do this, whatever. Don't send us coffee. Sign up for the membership. There you go. $4.99 a month. You get an extra podcast with a lot of other stuff. We get a little deeper on that one. That's a deep dive. It's kind of like down the rabbit hole, as we call it here. And you get this thing a little bit early. So anyways, moving on, Adrian, The Last of Us. Season 2, season finale. What in the actual fuck?
My emotions have been in I said it earlier, one gear.
Yeah.
Just what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just so sick of this chick.
Yep.
I don't think she died though at the end though.
No.
But I wish she would have.
Supposedly there's 2 more seasons, bro. So now season 3 is likely to arrive by late 2026 or early 2027. Adrian, remind everybody what fucking year we're in now.
I don't even know after watching that movie.
2025. So at least a year, probably not. So when you say that, it ain't happening in 2026. Early 27. And the way they end, so first of all, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the season finale, if you can even fucking call it that. Dude, how do you end on that?
That's like remember so I grew up watching One Life to Live, General Hospital.
Oh shit, I remember some General Hospital. Dude, Luke and Laura?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He was a pilot too.
Yep.
Damn. Is that where you got the inspiration from?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So, and this is like, these are people, they were making this thing every day, dude.
Right.
I mean, it's like you living your life. Their life is making this show every day.
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us appears to me to be one of those kind of shows.
Right.
Why does it take you a year to produce 9 episodes, dude?
Just
go
even.
Just
they
go in the
gave
back
us
room.
7, bro.
Oh, it's getting worse?
They gave us 7 this season. So where's the other 2 fucking episodes?
Whatever. So it's like, just go in the back room,
right,
and make some shit. I mean, your sets are shitty, all this other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. And we normally do the review of this. We're doing this shit a little different this week, Adrian. We're just gonna review it right in the middle of comic news and rumors. So now this episode, obviously was not happy with the end.
Mm.
The episode itself, we kind of we see Ellie kind of go on this mission on her own, right? Now, visually, how'd you feel about how this looked? Like the storm and all that? I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. The visuals were good.
They did a good job there. How'd you feel up until the end? How'd you feel about the episode itself?
The same way I felt about all of them.
Really?
Again, just steady pissed offness throughout the whole thing.
We see a scene where Ellie tracks down 2 of these members, right? Owen and Mel.
Right.
And she kills both of them.
Single shot,
dude.
Single shot.
That's also a change from the game. It's a little different in the game. And then,
well, she kills the 3 of them.
Yeah, because the baby too. She begged her to try to save the. Now, all right, you're begging her to try to save the baby. She's on a mission to go kill Abby. What's she gonna do? Take the baby out and now go raise your child instead of
no.
It's a fucked up situation, but it's kind of like, hey, y'all killed my dad pretty much, so. It's also like, we're in the apocalypse here.
Mm-hmm.
The normal rules don't apply.
Right.
And then I guess I don't even want to fucking talk about it because the end it pissed me off that much.
Mm.
When you get to this end and they're in the theater, here's my thing. Why not? Well, I think I know the answer. Why not just build out 2 more episodes and finish the show with season 2?
Right.
Oh, because you want to stretch this thing out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take... So season 1, you told in one, or game 1, you told in one season.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, you're going to now split between 2, maybe 3 seasons just to drag it out.
Yeah.
When we should be at the end anyways.
Right.
So it pissed me off the fact that it literally ended on nothing. It ended on a flashback to Abby's first day in Seattle.
Which is what I think season 3 is going to be. You know how I had the flashback with Joel with her birthdays? Now we're going to go through a fucking season of Abby.
Yeah.
And her bullshit.
Yep.
And then what's going to happen in season 4, if there's a 4, is Dina that shot, is Dina, because remember Dina wasn't in the scene.
Correct.
The other guy's on the ground, Ellie's in front of him, and Abby is like pointing the gun. Even though she did say, let you go.
Right.
And this is how, so that was pretty cool. But that shot, I think was Dina.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it was Tom. Now, in the game, Tommy saves Ellie in this scene. So
or Tommy, whoever, somebody else that wasn't in front of Abby,
correct,
that she didn't see, made the shot.
And I'm pretty sure he just moves her out of the way type shit. I can't remember if he shoots Abby or not, but either way,
damn, that sucks even more, dude.
Yeah, yep. So but you leave us on this, and I agree with you. I think we're unfortunately going to have to get a fucking season about Abby's life before we get back to this. So you leave us on this crazy cliffhanger where now we got to, and they've not done enough for us to give a shit about Abby. Right? Like, is there any party who I really care about her backstory? No, kill that bitch. Just fucking get rid of her.
Right.
Because the other thing, and I've seen a lot of these complaints online, and I do agree with these. They said they pretty much neutered Ellie in this show. So now you wouldn't know this. You never played the game.
Right.
Ellie's a savage in the game, bro. She's a fucking, as she has to be. She's a little girl surviving on her own, killing infected, killing other individuals who are bigger and stronger than her at times.
Right.
She's almost like, think about X-23.
Right.
Like she's along those lines.
Well, she's most certainly an asshole.
Yes.
She's
they
definitely
got that part down, but they forgot the savagery that
Right.
she has in this game.
Because I thought when they was killing Joel, she was going to come in and just take him out. Dude.
Right.
If that was the way that was had went, this would be a completely different story.
Yeah. So I think this season it hit its peak with the Joel episode, and it's been slowly downhill since then. I agree with you. Last week, that flashback episode was a highlight.
Right.
That was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
But because you got Joel in there.
Right.
Like I know it happens in the game, but I think one of the things that's missing in this show is Joel.
Yeah.
You spent a whole season with this character. And I mean, you're a big Game of Thrones guy, and they kill off main characters.
Sure.
The Walking Dead has done this, right? That's, it's, I want to say it's very unique, but you don't see it in most shows.
Right.
Obviously, it happens in the game, but I think that it was a little different here. I think people, and it also pissed off a lot of people at the game. I don't think the second game is universally loved as much as the first. I talked to a few people. Even my son's like, second one sucks. And he loves the first one. It fucking sucks.
Wow.
I told you, I played about half of it and checked out after the Joel. So I couldn't, it wasn't because they killed Joel. It was just, they killed Joel. Now I'm playing as Abby. We didn't know the backstory of Abby's dad and all that in the game. And I'm just like, I don't feel like playing as this bitch right now.
Right.
And then I took a break from it. Now I'm also I'm probably more of a casual gamer, dude. Like, you got your Ratchet and Clank. I got about 3 or 4 games I go to.
Right.
But it was easy for me to check out and not want to because the story to me, it didn't pull me in like the first one. And I think we're seeing the same thing here. So yeah, I fucking hated it. The end, honestly. One thing that was cool has nothing to do with the story, but we saw Costco in the show. That was cool. I mean, hey, reuse these big ass buildings, right? You talking about Walmart with the obstacle course. Dude, yeah, they took over Costco, so that's pretty cool.
Speaking of Costco, I read saw somewhere that maybe I dreamt it.
Okay.
They were going to start putting like apartments or whatever over Costco buildings.
Oh shit.
Right. So like you have the typical street level, the shopping part, and then you have living above it.
Yep.
Hey. Then maybe they can build it with the vacuum conveyor belts. You just go in, you buy all your food, and it just shows up in your kitchen. That'd be cool.
Maybe they could just dig out the ground and uncover all the cities that were, covered in mud during the mud flood. Maybe. Oh, that's the other stuff.
Well, I mean, if they did that, then they'd expose how much black people actually did.
True.
They're not gonna do that. Come on.
Okay, you're right. You know what? Keep raising the street levels and covering the buildings. Yeah. Hey, why is this first floor now the basement? Oh, don't ask about that. Anyways, that's the kind of stuff we talk about on other stuff right there. So that's my review. My review of this episode is it fucking sucked. Okay, that's my score. I mean, not the ending, like not cliffhanger endings when done right are amazing. We talk about Infinity War all the time.
Right,
that was great.
Yep.
Right, this not so much. They fumbled the bag, as they say.
Then all of that. The thing that kind of really pissed me off was that she's out in this little boat. I mean, don't you hear the fucking motor? I mean, I know it's a thunderstorm and all that kind of stuff. The waves.
Yeah.
And she almost fucked herself.
Yeah.
Because she's getting ready to walk out, not knowing there was 1,000 boats out in the water.
Right.
But that part was cool. And so she goes and she's in the boat. She gets turned over from this wave, ends up right back into the park, right? What they got escaped from. They're about to hang her. The kid was like, kill this bitch,
that was
right?
Stupid.
That was stupid. But then, the town starts blowing up and everybody, leave her. Yeah. I would have just cut her and then left or whatever.
So the town's blowing up there. We're about to unalive her right here.
Right.
Oh, let's stop and go see. The fuck, really?
Right.
That was in there for no reason.
Right. I mean, if she was going to try to get back on the boat, because when she got to the shore, the boat was there, right?
Yeah.
When she saw the kid, she knew what she was. Why didn't you just hurry up and get in the boat and take your ass back out?
Yep.
But no, we got to go through this whole hanging thing.
If this was Ellie from the game, she would have killed all 3 of those motherfuckers.
Or that.
But that's y'all are making her this weakling, but she's somehow surviving everything.
All right.
Come on.
Well, I'm surprised she survived with that pack and that weight in those waves. Well, I mean, she literally crawled up with all that pack, all that gear on.
Right.
I don't think so.
It's because Adrian, she's going to be a dad.
That's exactly.
So it's not just us, dude. About half of the viewership has checked out of this series. So the viewership is actually down 55% from season 1 finale to season 2 finale. So
damn.
Yeah, the finale of season 2 drew 3.7 million viewers. Okay, still a decent amount of viewers, but last season's finale had 8.2 million viewers. So most people are like, fuck that show.
I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
So,
and all of that for her to realize, man, maybe we shouldn't have did this.
Correct. Yep. And I still, this isn't Did They Cook, but I don't think this actress cooked as Ellie.
No.
Not at all,
No.
And forget, I mean, people make fun of the way she look, whatever. It's just, she don't look like Ellie, and she doesn't feel like Ellie in the show. In the first season, I think she did a good job of embodying the character, but now, and maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the directing, I don't know, but her as Ellie, I'm just not buying it.
I mean, you got to have another emotion besides asshole, dude.
Right.
I mean, she's just that all day long.
Yeah. Which worked in the first season because that's who that character was. But you're right. It's very one-dimensional.
Right.
All right. Moving on. A couple more news articles here. So Lilo and Stitch. Adrian, you ever seen this movie?
I have. The first one.
The first one. Did you like it?
For what it was.
Yeah. I mean, for a rank
back then, for what it was. Yeah, sure.
Dude, would you believe this? The first time I saw Lilo and Stitch was like 2 weeks ago. I'd never seen the original.
I won't shit on you for that one because, I mean, who cares?
Right. Well, here's why. Now I'm a big Disney guy, Pixar, all the stuff, but that came out, I think it's 2003. I was a senior in high school. Right. The fucking last thing I was worried about,
right.
17, 18 years old was watching Lilo and Stitch.
Right.
It was that brief time where like you're going from kid to adult where all kid stuff sucks.
Right.
Then you get a little bit older and you're like, actually, it's pretty cool. Fucking watch it,
Yo, what was that movie you keep telling me about the
Wall-E?
Wall-E,
dude. You got to see it.
Is it WALL-E?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, it is. Wall-E is one of my all-time favorite movies, dude. It's probably in my top 5. I guarantee you. I fucking love that movie.
Nice.
Yes. Don't make a live action reboot. Leave it the fuck alone. Leave it alone. So, reason Lilo and Stitch is in the news, they have a live action remake of this movie. I saw it. Now, I'm someone who just saw the original version, so I'm not like a diehard, like I grew up with The Lion King, fucking Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. You remake those movies, I'm pissed off. Lilo and Stitch, I'm like, I've only seen it like once, so I'm probably not the best guy to give you my take on it. I didn't mind the remake. I thought it was cool. They changed some core elements of the story that made no sense. So the ending was a little whacked. But visually, I thought it was pretty cool. The girl who played Lilo, amazing. Like, she's adorable. She's like, I don't know, she's probably 9 years old. I think Lilo's supposed to be like 6 or 7. She's funny. She's a good actor. Way more emotion than the chick who plays Ellie, by the way. And she looks the part. The girl who plays Nani, her older sister, looks nothing like her. It's weird. Now, they're similar complexion, but facial features and stuff look nothing like. And that was part of the whole cartoon was they look a lot alike, the two. Right. So
the same people that cast them is the same person that typically casts black families.
Yes.
Got it.
In fact, she kind of looks like the actress who plays Nani in this looks like Dina a little bit from The Last of Us, who looks nothing like Nani.
She looks nothing like.
Correct. Yeah.
And I'm just going off memory.
Yeah.
It looks nothing like Dina.
Right. So anyways. Stitch. The 3D version or the animated version of Stitch, CGI was done pretty well. I thought it was really cool. They leaned more into like the cartoonish, like that was one of the things I didn't like about the Lion King remakes is how they made them look like actual lions out in fucking Africa. Like, okay, I'm not trying to watch a National Geographic documentary here. I want to see Lion King. I want Scar to look a little reddish. I want to be able to tell Mufasa from Simba.
Right.
But, anyways. So they did a good job of Lilo in here. The only reason I bring this up is this movie, dude, did 421 million last week. So in its first, so it outgrossed Captain America: Brave New World in less than a week. Unfortunately, Cap, sorry.
Hey.
Yeah, but big movie for Disney. That's a lot, dude. But it just goes to show you too when people say, cinema's dead, and it's not, dude.
It's not.
You just got to make sure people want to see.
We used to hang with this kid, and he said something one time. Now, this person lived on an island and never seen the ocean.
Okay.
Right.
This is your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were talking about movies one day, and he was like, big into like the Scarface and things like that. And then I started bringing up like comic book movies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or anything like space-based, Star Wars, Star Trek. No, man, I can't. And what he said was, Scarface to me is more real, is tangible, street level.
Okay.
These other movies, they're too fantastic, and I can't wrap my mind around it. Right. So I thought that was kind of like, well, damn, but it actually make sense, right?
Yeah.
Where what's it got to do with Lilo and Stitch? Well, Captain America: Brave New World is too fantastical.
Okay.
Lilo and Stitch, even though it's made up, right, is more tangible to people. It's more entertaining. It's more understandable than a Captain America: Brave New World. So I think that element is one of the reasons why it was able to eclipse these comic book movies.
Yep. Yeah, I'm interested to see how well it performs now that word of mouth, because people are not loving this movie. The masses.
Which one?
Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
Actually, I should probably say.
Wait a minute, they're not loving it, and it's over 400. Wow.
Yeah. So the feedback, it's like everyone ran out to go see it because the trailer and stuff looked good, and people just love Lilo and Stitch. But there's a good pocket of people that are really critical about some of the changes, which I don't know. Again, I'm probably not the best guy to ask because, if you remake Lion King and change integral parts of the story, I'll be the first to criticize that. I've seen a movie 18 million times.
Right.
Lilo and Stitch I've seen twice, so I'm really not the guy. But hey, kudos to, Disney kicking ass with 420 fucking million in a week.
Right.
Again, goes to show you, though, that it can be done.
Sure.
It's not that, cinema, COVID killed cinema or this and that. No, it didn't. It fucked it up a little bit, sure. And then last thing, dude, so you're a big T'Challa, Black Panther guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember a while back, we talked about a couple games that were announced. One was a Captain America / Black Panther game. This is the one I think you saw the trailer. Literally looks like it could be a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was an untitled Black Panther game that was announced. Now that game, no big development. We never saw anything about it, but it was just supposed to be an open world, third person, single player action adventure game set in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. Now, knowing what we know about Black Panther, that sounds amazing, right?
Sure.
Set in Wakanda, you're playing as Black Panther, cool. So EA, Electronic Arts, they went through another round of layoffs and they shut one of its studios down, which, because the way these games, Electronic EA is like the main, company, but they have studios for certain types of games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this studio happened to be the studio that was developing this Black Panther game. So that is now, it's been shelved, Adrian. They canceled it. So they kill off T'Challa. They don't recast him. They talk about making a game, and now they cancel the game, Adrian.
So
I see you turning red.
I'm trying to. No, I'm so used to this, dude.
It's just normal.
I'm trying to determine whether I should talk about this here or other stuff.
Oh.
But I'll make it short because I don't have a lot of.
You can toe dip it here.
I'm a toe dip it here. Who's T'Challa? T'Challa he was a prince, then a king because his father got killed of a fictitious nation called Wakanda. They have hidden and have developed their country off of this rare metal called vibranium, right? And vibranium has the capability to absorb any amounts of energy. Well, the Wakandans figured out how to not only absorb, but also how to store and also project this.
Yeah.
So they use it to they hid their entire city, right? So like a countrywide mirage per se, they generate. They have all these flying vehicles.
Yeah, most people think it's a third world country in the comics, right?
Correct.
Outsiders.
Correct. Outsiders. So he's literally the richest person, black man, richest person on the planet. I mean, for every penny that a Bruce Wayne or a Tony Stark has, this guy has $100, right? So that's inspirational.
Right.
We can't have that. So when the actor died off, they decided to switch this thing over because it's easier to kind of like slide this character underneath the rug, right? Now, what's happened geopolitically in the country, in the world? Well, you have, these leaders in Africa, real life, right? they're saying, you know what, we kind of tired of this bullshit. You come in, you rape and pillage our country. You give us what you think that we should have to keep us there while you steal all of our gold and diamonds and oil and whatever other natural resources, right?
Yeah.
So you got this king this president now, who is former military. He's young. He's like 30 something, right? 37 or something like that. And he's like, dude, I'm tired of this. You will no longer, and then just spill out whatever else. So what is in that climate, what is the last thing that you want to do globally? You want to not inspire an entire, everything that you've built your everything on, these people that you've like taken from them for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Now there's like a glimmer of hope. So let's not inspire them any more than we have to. So let's take out all these different things. Let's not revise the Black Panther. Let's not put out the game, because when Black Panther came out, dude, people were walking around like doing this shit, and
they're trying to book trips to Wakanda, bro.
Exactly.
And they're like, travel agents like, bro, that shit don't exist. Like,
Exactly. Hugely inspirational.
Right.
Hugely inspirational. So now if you put out this thing, then you couple it with a president who's like, we're done with this mess. You know, let's if we can't talk, then there's going to be other measures and stuff. Right. So let's just take all these inspirational things. You're going to see more of that. You're going to see more of these things. If they wanted to put the game out, they could put the game out. It's like the same company that makes, I don't know, the whole thing with designer clothes. You know, the same people that make shit that goes to Walmart make Hermes bags.
Correct.
You know, things like that.
Right.
It's
like the cigarette companies buying the food companies, dude.
Right.
Yep. It's all commingled.
It's all the same assembly line.
True. Just because you're shutting down this one studio doesn't mean you can't go. Like, you have multiple studios.
Right.
Like, okay, you guys take this Black Panther game. Whatever.
Right. So I'm just saying, I'm just speculating, you know, doing some little geopolitical stuff.
Right.
But the whole thing is that there was no reason for them to do that.
Sure. Now, it could be this individual studio's losing their money, so they whack the studio, and this game is one among many that, you know, is getting the axe due to that. Could be.
If you put out a Black Panther game, people would go apeshit over that thing. So it's a gamble. It's like any other gamble, right? If they would have put that out, people would have gone apeshit over this thing.
Right.
And it's not that they don't think they would have got the money. They don't want to do the empowerment thing.
Okay. Now, so to my point of, hey, I agree that could be it. It could also just be this studio's failing. Hey, whack this studio.
Or I'm just talking shit.
It could be that too, dude. Hey, you never know. But there is a game that's still coming out. It's called 1943, The Rise of Hydra, right? Or something like that.
Of course.
But
look at what they're killing and what they're bringing out.
Hold on, though. Hold on.
Oh my god.
So there's going to be 4 characters you play as in this game, Adrian. Okay, so you're Ratchet and Clank. You only play as one person. Is that accurate? Do you switch between the two, or you only play as Ratchet? I forget.
For the most part, you're playing as Ratchet with Clank on the back,
like
but
a helper.
Clank also has his own adventures.
Okay. So there's a game, Grand Theft Auto 5, GTA 5. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yep.
Never played it, right?
Nope.
So in the story mode, there's 3 characters you play as.
Yep.
Some missions you play as certain characters, right?
Sure.
So it'd be like, this mission you got to be, you know, what's the name? You got to be Michael. You got to be Franklin. Whatever. So this game, 1943, The Rise of Hydra, Marvel, whatever the fuck it's really called. I think it is Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra. You're gonna play as 4 different characters. 1, Steve Rogers, Captain America. 2, Azuri. This is a Black Panther at the time. So it's 1943. So this is before T'Chaka. He's one of their ancestors or something. And then there's a Howling Commandos member, Gabriel Jones, and then Nanali, the leader of a Wakandan spy network. So you're gonna be playing both sides of now Hydra is the main antagonist in this game.
Sure.
So I'm assuming Hydra's doing shit that probably causes these individuals all cross paths. And initially it sounds like Steve Rogers and this Azuri are at odds, but they find a way to kind of work together, join forces with the other two, the spy and then the commandos dude as well. So to me, sounds pretty interesting. This is the one you saw the trailer, I don't know if you remember, but it literally looks like it could just be a movie.
Right.
So, hey, knocking off one that we never really got developed, but bringing this thing in. Now, I know you probably won't, it'll take a lot to get you to move away from Ratchet and Clank, but if you were a traditional gamer, does it sound like something that would interest you?
I can't answer that question because I'm not a traditional gamer, so I don't know.
Got it. All right. I'm definitely play this game. I'm probably a casual gamer now, in my old age, Adrian. I don't have, 20 hours a day to play games for, but this is one I definitely would play this. And like I said, saw some of the trailer. I think there was some gameplay stuff in there. But being able to play as Captain America and a Black Panther in the game's pretty damn cool. So anyways, this one's still on the books for now. So, Adrian, we're gonna wrap up comic news and rumors. Adrian, a little thumbs up, thumbs down. So I'm gonna recap these articles. We're gonna give each piece of news a thumbs up or thumbs down. And you all just don't get upset about it. So just everybody relax. We don't need any of y'all turning into Hulk. So are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Number one, Avengers Doomsday allegedly recording on site at the Windsor Castle. The Windsor Castle is going to be a Magneto Citadel in Battleworld. I give that rumor a thumbs up.
Sure. Thumbs up.
Marvel might have smartened up, Adrian, and got rid of the Smart Hulk. It's rumored that Savage Hulk will return and be the main antagonist in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I give that rumor a thumbs up.
Yep, thumbs up.
I give it that. Oh, it's not a thumb, it's the fist. Too bad they weren't like a big green thumbs up. We should do that on a t-shirt. Wade Wilson found a job in Gotham City, which puts him on Batman's radar in this Deadpool Batman crossover set to be released later this year. I give us a huge thumbs up, dude.
Yo, think about that. The most practical joking character in comics, right? With the most stoic comic book character.
Yep.
And
crazy. What's funny too is Deadpool's based on Deathstroke, right? So Batman has fought someone similar to, just not with the mouth.
Right.
Next up, over half of the audience has checked out of The Last of Us as season 2's finale drops a big ass turd on us, Adrian. The viewership's down 55% from season 1's finale.
That's crazy.
It's a thumbs down, dude. What are y'all doing?
That's a thumbs up because it makes me feel like my anger is justified.
Okay. All right.
So
that's a good positive spin.
There you go.
Lilo and Stitch dominates the box office with $421 million in its first weekend. Outgrossed Captain America in less than a week, dude. Wow. But I guess a thumbs up, dude.
Yeah,
for Lilo
thumbs
and
up.
Stitch.
Good for them.
Yep. And then the Black Panther action adventure games canceled as EA closes Cliffhanger Games, one of their studios. But 1943, Rise of Hydra with Cap and Black Panther still on the books. So I'm gonna give it right in the middle, dude. I'm gonna give the cancel a thumbs down, but the other game's still on thumbs up.
Cancel a thumbs down. The other one, I don't give a shit. It's,
you ain't gonna play it
geopolitical.
Okay. All right. Dude, so I was rewatching some of Ragnarok this past week, and the Thor battle or whatever. Right. We were talking about the 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah.
There's a scene in this movie where Hela doesn't get talked about enough. She's badass.
Yeah,
dude.
she is.
And even in this movie.
Yep.
When she shows up to Asgard by herself and she tells them like, yo, I'm your queen now, I'm taking over, and they don't want to follow suit, and then she literally slaughters or unalives. Dude, it's got to be at least 100 of them.
Yeah. That
is like, watch that scene if you still think, 100 men can kill a gorilla. We couldn't get 100 Asgardians to take out Hela.
Right.
But that's how it would be. Like 100 people can't get to one person. She literally takes them out a few at a time. And before you know it, they're all done, dude.
Right.
So, anyways. So, dude, we've been doing comic moments on the podcast recently. And last week we talked about the initiative, right? Going from Civil War to Secret Invasion. This week, we're going to actually go to our wide shot, Adrian, real quick. We haven't used the wide shot in a while. So I got this comic here. This is Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. Okay. You've never read this, right?
No, I have not.
This is
there two of them?
No.
Is there two Daredevils?
Nope.
Or they're showing him in motion?
They're showing him in motion.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering.
Oh, you're pulling fast one on me. So Frank Miller wrote this. We know Frank Miller, right? And the artist behind this was John Romita Jr. You familiar with his work at all? So I like his style. It's kind of like cartoonish, right? So,
Okay.
well, it is a cartoon. So, you know, go to our new super shot, Adrian, and we're gonna go through this comic. And actually, you can get this. It is on the store, onlycomicsmerch.com. And hey, my boy who was asking, I'm sorry, go back to this shot one more time. The Punisher Max Omnibus. It's available now. So we had one of our interns
Okay.
special request. So
Nice.
I got you. It's on the store. Have at it. All right. So this comic, I've read this a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about it, Adrian, is it's a kind of retelling of Matt's origin, right?
Mm.
So you see right here on the cover, you got, little Matt with his dad. So let's just kind of go through this a little bit. In this comic, Matt he earns the name Daredevil because he's a little asshole as a kid.
Right.
He's paying the ass. We didn't really see that in the show,
Mm-hmm.
but you're familiar with Daredevil comics, right?
Sure.
So that's where he's kind of, you see him right here stealing. This is before he's blind, stealing a damn nightstick from a cop because the cop's getting called on him anyways. And he's just wreaking havoc. It's funny here, you see him as a kid with the mask and almost kind of, I guess, foreshadows,
Sure.
him becoming Daredevil. You see the gym here, which is kind of a place of solace for him as a kid. And you get to see some of this interaction with his dad, Jack. So I really like this because it stays true to the origin, but it's in a little, like we talked about, it's hard for me to go back and read some of these really old comics just because of the look.
Right.
I just can't get past it. And this is a newer, I forget exactly when this came out, but obviously they had more than 4 fucking colors back then.
Right. And I don't read some of the newer comics for exactly that same
It's
reason.
too much.
It's too much.
Like colors or just too much, like
the artwork and and sometimes
too
the
busy.
color. Or they
Yeah.
want to do like this shiny ass, reflective coating, and it's weird.
Right. So you see, Jack raising Matt, and I think you do see a little bit of his alcoholism here. And then here he is, the boxer, dude. He's kicking ass. And then we see in this comic, his dad is also working for the mob. So you kind of see the 2 different panels there, right? You got him fighting, and then him kind of being an enforcer to earn money. He's caught up because he's raising his kid on his own.
Mhm.
He's in Hell's Kitchen, and he's just doing his best to get by. So I really like the dynamic between the 2 here. And there's a scene where Matt's telling his dad about a kid bullying him in school or whatever.
Mhm.
And then Jack literally tells him, like, hold me back up. Basically tells him, don't hit him. Like, we talked about pushing back last week.
Mhm.
Jack's like, dude, don't. Like, and then Matt's like, well, you would have hit him back. He's like, yeah, I would have. So he's kind of conflicted. Like, this example I'm setting for my kid is not what I want to set. So I want him to do the opposite. But as you know, kids do what you do, not what you say.
Right.
So Matt comes home and tells him, hey, the bully hit me, and then I basically whipped his ass. And you see Jack Murdoch right there, dude, cuffs him.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how Matt's conflicted here. Like, I'm not going to go through every panel here, but he feels like, hey, my dad loves me, but he did do something wrong. He hit me, yada, yada, yada. And you see the kids teasing, they call him. So they use Daredevil as like a name to mock him.
Right.
Because he's always, he's an asshole kid, right? He's doing crazy shit, climbing up the fucking fire escapes, yada, yada, yada. So they're teasing him. And here he even starts to find kind of his solace in the gym as a kid, modeling after his dad, right? You see Stick here observing, and this is the infamous accident. You see the guy with the truck driving all this toxic waste just in the back, because that's how you would move toxic waste, right?
Sure,
You just have an open bed truck.
Now, this being Stick, I'm assuming this whole thing was a setup.
Oh.
Because Stick knows, he's blind, but he knows the truck is coming, dude.
Okay.
I think this was a setup.
Okay.
Anyway.
And how funny is it that he's saving a blind person?
Right.
Like a lot of blind people in this story, he's saving some blind person. Then you see the chemicals on his face. And here is, him being blinded in the hospital. It was just good. Frank Miller, dude, we saw his insane Wolverine, drawing not too long ago. But dude, he's got some really good comic stories.
Yeah.
He was a great writer at times. And you see his, I don't know if that ends up being his mom in the comics, but you remember in the show, Maggie or whatnot. So you see a little bit of his Catholic influence here. And then Stick kind of he basically like follows him up in the gym, dude. Like a little kid in the gym. That's not weird at all, right? Some weird
not at
guy with
all.
a stick. Let me go follow the 9-year-old in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how he becomes his trainer, and he's really hardcore with Matt too. Like he's so you see a lot of that here. You teaching him, bow and arrow, even though he's blind. Basically teaches him that, so what? You're blind, stop crying.
Right.
Fucking figure it out type shit. And then, Matt continuing to be trained by Stick here. And then we get to, one of his defining moments. His dad's a fighter. His dad is, they want him to take a dive. And he's at this point, dude, where he just wants to make his son proud, just like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides not to take the dive. And then what happens in the comic is there's a handful of individuals that track Jack Murdock down and kill him. Now, this is why I chose this comic is Daredevil is known, at least in the show and a lot of comics, for having a no-kill rule, a lot like Batman. Right? He didn't always have a no-kill rule in the comics. Mm-hmm. And I've even said, I don't think Daredevil should have a no-kill rule. I think Batman should. That's part. But I think Daredevil, I can't really explain why. For me, he shouldn't.
Right.
So, all right, go back here. This is after Matt goes and IDs the body or whatnot. And he was actually listening to these guys kill his dad. So he knew the individuals by name and stuff like that. He tracks them down and, dude, he kills the first two. Well, beats them almost to death and leaves them. Mm-hmm. And then, so you see him in the alley there. This is the other guy. He tracks this guy down at the gym. The dude's a boxer as well. And, dude, he kills him, like kicks him until he couldn't breathe. And you can say it, you read all the text, you can tell that he actually killed him. Then he tracks down this other fella here. This guy has a heart attack. So, dude, he kills like 4 people or unalives them, as they say. I'm sorry. Yeah, cut all that out and switch out with unalive. And then he tracks another guy down at a party. There's a bunch of girls around, and one of them tries to attack him, or they all try to attack him to save their pimp or whatever. And Matt accidentally kicks one out the window. So now he killed someone who he didn't mean to.
Right.
Which, at least in this comic, is where he now kind of adopts that no-kill rule. Because, like, dude, I fucked up.
An innocent got killed.
And then what?
An innocent got killed.
Absolutely. Yeah, the other ones he didn't give a shit about. Yes. Innocent, who knows, but civilian. And then we fast forward, he meets Foggy. He's in college now. And he is starting to go out on patrol. He's got his little first costume here. He finds Elektra. So this comic, you see his origin. You see, the integral parts with him meeting Stick, his dad getting killed, him getting his revenge. Now he meets Foggy and introduced to Elektra.
Okay.
He's chasing her and realized, like, shit, I can't even catch her. And what you can't really tell here, but you see he's holding her boot, like she's like taking her clothes off as because she's Elektra. Why wouldn't she, right?
Of course.
And then somehow she gets her clothes back. Cops show up and they kind of like, dude, what are you doing? And he says, she got away, whatever, so on and so forth. And then she shows up a couple of days later with a little fast car. And then Matt jumps in because he's like, I'm trying to, because we know Matt, dude.
Sure.
Matt's trying to, he's trying to, you know what, Adrian?
Yep.
So he hops in. Foggy's like, what the hell's going on? And this whole time, Foggy's warning him, like, yo, Elektra's like bad news, dude. Mm-hmm. And Matt don't give a shit. And this, we saw some of this in the show, right? Where, she drive around a sports car. She's got him like robbing houses and stuff like that.
Well, they stole a sports car.
Yes.
Then broke into somebody else's house.
Correct. So she's just a hell of a good influence, right? But he's attracted to her. And, she's like literally like that Daredevil mindset is she also has that, I guess.
Right.
He tracks her down. And just like in the show, she's got the rich daddy. Mm-hmm. And he tracks her down to this big ass mansion. She's just hanging out playing piano, and he fucking falls through the ceiling. I think they shoot at him. So he gets shot, comes back home, gets all patched up, and here's Foggy watching Elektra leave the room. So Matt he did a damn thing, Adrian.
Hey,
he laid it down.
That's what he does.
That's exactly what Matt does. And then she, right after leaving Matt's apartment, dude, she goes just downtown. She lures a bunch of dudes into the alley, switches to this costume, this outfit for some reason, and then proceeds to beat the living shit out of them.
So her clothes prevented her from beating her ass?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she had to
She's
get,
like, yeah, she had to get like this to fight, So, but dude, what do you think about this artwork?
She looks kind of Jokerish.
Okay. Yeah.
There.
But the style in general, like it's very exaggerated. I like it. It reminds me of like some Tim Sale type stuff. All right, so we see her beating the shit out of these guys. This is one of my favorite. I remember as a kid, like when someone first told you that, if you hit someone right here in the nose, you can drive their nose bone into their brain. Right. Like, oh, that's so cool. And she actually does it right here. And then we just see a little bit more. I mean, now Matt's in his skimpies for some reason. They're practicing gymnastics. But these two are falling in love, Adrian. They're skiing together, doing all kinds of lovey-dovey stuff.
Yeah.
And Elektra then gets sent away. And we see this fella here. Again, I guess I'm half spoiling it. So I'm not telling you everything, but I'm telling you some key moments. But you see this fella here, mob guy, whatever. Look at these big hands there, Adrian. Who do you think that is?
Kingpin.
Sure as shit is. Snaps his neck, takes his little flower, pins it up. So this story is, in a way, a introduction to Kingpin.
Okay.
Right? You see Matt's origin, and it kind of leads up to Kingpin. So this is, I want to say, I think it's 5 or 6 issues or something like that. Dude, I'm a big fan of the giant-sized Kingpin in the comics. Like we saw in Across the Spider-Verse where he's like as big as the SUV and shit. And then now you got Matt in the all black, which we saw in the show at times. I also like that too, the progression. Like in the beginning, it's just him out there, no mask. Now he's covering his head with this all black costume.
Literally how Bruce Wayne was doing it to become the Batman.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So in this, it's typical Daredevil where he's tracking down some type of trafficker. He's trying to save this chick, dude. Look at the blood on the stick. Pretty brutal.
Pink blood.
Yeah, pink blood. Well, it can't be too extreme. Because comics are for kids, Adrian. And just kind of going through this. I just love these shots. It's really fucking cool. So this is another spot here where he accidentally, I don't say accidentally, but he's dodging the bullets with his stick. And you see the bottom panel hits my man right in the forehead. So he kills somebody else. Wow. So death toll for Matt right now is like 5 or 6. Right. Dude. So the no kill rule has been out the window. And then it all leads to your boy Fisk. And then we see at the very end him in his full blown Daredevil costume. So it's a fun little comic. Like you asked earlier about one shot. This is a one shot.
Yep.
I want to say, I don't know if I'm a bigger fan of a one shot than a story, but I appreciate a good one shot is probably what I would say. Like I love I'm working on this Marvel guide, this guide to Secret Wars. I love these stories where there's, these comics that tie into that one, that tie into this one. It's a long arching story that goes, but sometimes that's a lot. Yeah. Sometimes I like to just pick up a one shot, read it, know that there's nothing that's going to come after. It's almost like your imagination, right? Like, we've seen enough of Daredevil and Fisk. We know their type of interactions. We're not going to see that with this comic, but we see what leads up to that.
Is the Daredevil Fisk relationship kind of like the Spider-Man Hulk relationship?
In what way?
You got this smaller person, constantly going up against this larger, dominating force.
Okay,
I'm just saying. I just thought about it.
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, I think they're a little more intertwined than Hulk and Spider-Man. I mean, I thought you were going almost like not from a size, but like a Batman Joker. Like you almost can't have one without the other. I wouldn't say it's that, not to that level, but it's pretty close. Like eventually Kingpin's going to show up.
Right.
Eventually, he's back on Daredevil or Matt's radar.
Got
it. Like we saw with Daredevil Born Again. Like eventually they're back at each other, and it's almost like all is right when these two are fighting. But I really enjoyed this. And again, I mean, you guys let me know, are you a question for all y'all out there. Are you guys bigger fans of these kind of interconnected, long arching stories, big events, or a one shot? You know, dude, I love a good one shot.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I like them both. I mean,
Same.
the one shot is like it breaks up the longer ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's like every once in a while. So how do you know when you watch a good movie? Because you've seen some bad ones.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, every one shot ain't good.
Right.
But when they're done good, it's just, and it's not a long read either. Like, I mean, you see this thing, I don't even know, it's probably a couple hundred pages tops. There's no numbers on them. Oh, 155 here. Yeah, so less than 200 pages. It's about 150 pages. So yeah, again, you can get this on the website onlycomicsmerch.com. But great story. The Man Without Fear. You know, Frank Miller, great writer, and I'm a big fan of John Romita Jr.'s art. So there you have it. That is that's our comic moments for the day. Adrian, we already talked about The Last of Us. We're not going to do that again. I'll spare us both, but we're going to get into some comments. This is where they all comment, we respond.
Let's do it.
Last week I had some TikTok comments. I think I need to take a break from the TikTok comments, but
dude, it was only 1 week.
I know. You know, we'll see where this goes. We'll see how I feel at the end of this. You know.
Wow.
All right. So
they beat you up like that bad?
No, I beat them up that bad. That's how it works. You know. So I just need a break. You know, I don't want to get accused of being abusive here. You know.
Got it.
So got my man Slapper Wrestling. So we're gonna start with our interns as we normally do. He says, I just saw a video of Superman with kids. So there's a new Superman trailer. I'm done with the Superman trailer. I just want to watch the movie when it comes out.
Right.
Anyways, but he says the estimated domestic box opening, or domestic opening being about 150 to 175 million. So now, I don't know how they got this info now because it's still a month and change out. But we've seen these rumors before. They're usually pretty accurate. He says, I was critical, but if this movie is great, DC might be back. Now, we've said all along, if there's a lot riding on this movie for DC. If this movie is a box office smash, if it's, you know, critically acclaimed, or even not even a critical acclaim, if it's above average, dude, it's gonna set DCU on a good path.
Yeah.
If it's not, they're basically shooting themselves in the ass.
Right.
Okay? I always say foot, but that sounds
Yeah,
better. Yeah. I don't know if it's make or break, because if Superman doesn't do well, then they better make a badass Batman film to save the DCU.
Yeah, but if they do that, then that's years after this one.
True.
Right? And what I suspect is that they'll probably just lie about the numbers.
Okay.
It's easier to do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just lie about the numbers.
But now I've had a lot of people say this to me on TikTok too. Like, if Superman's good, I hope you guys are honest about, like, dude, if it's good, I'll be the first fucking one to tell you.
Absolutely.
I don't hate DC. I'm just honest about. I guess the thing you'll get from our podcast, Adrian, and a lot of others, you're not going to get this, is honesty. We're going to shoot you straight.
I wanted to do well just so they can bring back Black Adam.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yep, The Rock is Black Adam.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll be down with that. Jay Shot It says, appreciate the shout out, my dogs. Battle Beast is a character from the Invincible universe, Image Comics. Have you guys seen the new Marvel, DC, Deadpool cross? Oh, yes, we have. Let me know if you can get it. Oh, we're definitely going to get it, Jay Shot It. And he says, plus, you've been cooking with the editing, bro. Oh, appreciate that, dude. We're trying, dude. One step at a time. OG Dirte, what up, Mike and Adrian? Marvel pushed back one of their games. Oh, we know. Oh, yeah, the Rise of Hydra did get pushed back to late 26. They canceled Black Panther. Yeah, we fucking know. OG, you got to remind us again. Mike, all us 80s babies love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. They actually have a new game called Splintered Fate. Okay. Adrian, since we're discussing Civil War comic, can I finally get a hidden gem on Night Thrasher? He triggered the events that led to the events of Civil War. Okay. What do you guys think about these rumors? Ryan Gosling rumored to play Ghost Rider? No, I don't. Like, isn't Ryan Gosling known as being like the rom-com, the guy the girl wants and all this, and then we're going to use him as Ghost Rider?
They need to do a dancing musical or something one time, The Book or some shit like that.
Yeah, pretty sure, yeah. So I don't like that. Do you? Fucking bring Nicolas Cage back.
Exactly.
Shit. Chris Pratt coming back.
Even at his age, the only thing he's doing is sitting on a motorcycle, right?
Exactly. Yeah, with a CGI face.
There you go.
Chris Pratt coming back as Star-Lord. Oh, he should, 100%. I don't think that story's done. I'm definitely down with some more Star-Lord. And then Marvel doing the Annihilator movie. I hope they do. The Annihilator. Didn't we talk about that in one of your hidden gems or no?
I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm thinking Annihilus. Okay. Yeah, actually, dude, I don't even know what the Annihilator movie is. OG, so we'll have to look into that. DJ Super Soldier, what up, Mike and Adrian? Just catching up after a few busy days at work. That's right, bro. Out there working. Absolutely love the new graphics and the split screen. Comic moments, baby, my new favorite section. All right, dude. We're giving the people what they want, dude. The only thing I'd say about Doomsday Secret Wars getting pushed back is it may give us time to get through Mike's reading guide. Yes. And let's ask it. It's not getting pushed back, DJ. It's going to be a long reading guide, so he's right. But we are not pushing that back, dude. Well, we don't have a release date, so we can't push it back.
He's on you, though.
He is. I know. It's coming, dude. It's coming. Well, actually, DJ, here to be fully transparent, I'm looking at a few things. One, there's once you start digging in these comics, dude, it's like endless. You know what I mean? You can keep going back. So I'm trying to determine how far back to go and then what to include. So I'm really going through this process myself of reading just about everything in between, skimming through some, deep dives in others to determine where I think, number one, the full experience, I guess. Like and the way I'm envisioning this reading guide is there's two paths. There's the essentials. Like the bare minimum, you got to read these. Maybe it's 7 different stories. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Then there's the everything, dude. The deluxe, the Baconator. Okay, you got the single cheeseburger here, and you got the fucking Baconator. So I'm working on that because you really, I'm thinking it's going to start right around Avengers Disassembled, which we read here. Go to House of M, because there's kind of 2 lines here. There's the Civil War and all that, and then it leads up into the Jonathan Hickman era. Okay. But a lot of the stuff done in that first, the Civil War era, I wouldn't say it ties into Hickman's stuff, but a lot of the story, it kind of does in a way. Like he picked up those pieces and some of it had continued on. So I almost feel like it's a disservice to leave that out.
Sounds like you're on your way to be a producer, man.
I think so.
Delaying
dude.
shit.
Yeah. Most likely, dude. That's the plan. I have to learn how to properly delay things first. So, but anyways, so let's see what else we got here. And he says, "Love you guys. See you over other stuff." Yes, dude. We definitely will see you there. See, Jason 1. There was a rumor Tania Miller was cast as Jocasta. Physically, I don't like it. You know who Tania Miller is? No. I don't know who she is. See, Jason also says, another great episode, fellas. I've seen all of your episodes, and I just started commenting. Well, about time, dude. What are you waiting for? Originally, I found y'all on TikTok. My question is, when the hell you guys, not you guys, but fans give a shit about how much a film makes why do people care how much a film makes? Either it's good or it isn't. Let the companies worry about that. Enjoy the fucking movie. I see what you're saying. For me, here's why I care about it. If a movie doesn't do well, it could cause things to be canceled in the future, right? Like it's kind of like the studio, like to play the devil's advocate, Adrian, to your take. Maybe the studio fucking sucks, so now because the studio sucks, we can't get this game, right? Which can happen with movies, right? Like, it's not happening with Secret Wars and Doomsday, but imagine if this was like an early phase of Marvel and Thunderbolts, Captain America did what it did, and then it causes the Avengers movies to be canceled. So that, for me, that's why I care about it. Right. Not, obviously, no, I ain't making no money off it, but yes, if I'm just looking at it movie for movie, who cares? And I would assume your answer is you don't give a shit.
I don't.
Dadbod 365. Hey, Mike and Adrian, you guys doing a great job as always. Keep it up. It's been a while since I posted. I know, where you been too, dude? Since I usually drive. Okay, that's good. You don't want to be posting while you're driving. No. And it's like Marvel. Oh, I've been listening and watching like the Marvel perv no Diddy. I'm against the fact that they took out the Flinch and Superman because to me it means the studio might be interfering. And actually, it's funny you say that because I left this out, but there was a rumor that WB and James Gunn are almost at odds with this movie, and they are interfering, and they're also against a lot of his shows that he wanted, like the Booster Gold and some of that shit. So maybe everything's not all smooth sailing over there, Adrian,
because he's trying to be in front of the camera all the time.
He just won't shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, he said this recently. A fan, it's like he goes back I think he's taking a page out of our book. He's doing We Respond.
Okay.
Except he doesn't have a podcast and he's supposed to be a movie director.
Right.
So what he should do is We Shut the Fuck Up.
Exactly.
Yes, that could be your segment. But someone asked him about other fans comparing Fantastic Four and Superman and making it this battle. And he's kind of like, oh, well, it shouldn't be that way because there's 2 weeks in between the movies and this, and that. Okay, dumbass. You're releasing Superman and Fantastic Four comes out 2 weeks later. You really think we're not going to compare the two?
Of course.
Like, come on. Oh, we're idiots for comparing 2 movies from rival movie studios with rabid fucking fan bases that battle each other. It's like how Xbox and PlayStation used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the ones that are stupid for comparing these 2 movies when you and Marvel decided to drop them in the same fucking month.
Right.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I wonder if some of these delays are designed to have movies come out closer to each other.
Yeah.
Just for those purposes. Because think about it. If my movie drops, whether it does good or bad, well, if my movie drops and your movie drops close, whether these movies do good or bad, they're both going to be talked about.
Right.
Which drives up interest, which drives up viewership, right? So it's all marketing, dude.
Yep. But yeah, I think you're an idiot if you think that we're not going to compare the two. Dude, it's DC, Marvel, it's Fantastic Four, Superman. It's in the same fucking month. Of course we're going to compare.
Right. I mean, if we open up the burger joint and we got Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King there, right? And you grab some food from all over.
Right.
Of course you're going to be walking out the door, double fisting, oh my God, these burgers and these fries, got to compare.
McDonald's doesn't go, don't compare our stuff to Burger King.
Right.
Like, come on, dude. It's just, it's moronic is what it is, okay? He also says that the flinch wasn't so much as him feeling pain, but more his emotions. So here he is trying to save everybody, but the people are against him throwing garbage at him. I think it showed that it bothered him more psychologically than physically. I hear that, but here's my thing. He didn't see it coming. It hit him in the back of the head.
Right.
So head on, you can sell me on the flinch.
Sure.
You're right. Like, oh my God, you're throwing shit at me. But this is a guy who is damn near invincible.
Right.
And you're throwing a fucking juice box at him. He wouldn't even have felt it. Right?
I mean, he would have felt it theoretically, but
it
was a lot.
Like a fly landing on your arm felt it.
Or like a fucking piece of dust.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, it wouldn't have bothered. He wouldn't have did all that. No, there's no way.
No. Now, head on, someone throwing something at his face, I could see him being shocked, like, oh my God, why would you throw that at me? Type shit. That's where I could see the emotion. I just don't like it. I think it's stupid. I think you're doing too much.
Yeah. So there was a Superman movie came out with the skinny kid, right? Yeah. He was like a one-time Superman, then they got rid of him.
Okay.
And I actually liked the movie.
Yeah.
And he was first time you seeing Superman having sex. First time you seeing Superman drinking a beer, things like that.
Right.
Being a fucking person.
So
right?
the ways to humanize him.
Exactly. So in this one, they are really showing that Superman needs a psychological episode or something.
Right.
He's pissed off. He's blowing up at Lois.
Yep.
I mean, he's sad because, people are throwing trash at me. It's like they're doing too much now.
Yeah.
They're doing too much.
Yep. And Adrian, we call that balls in the lettuce. Are you saying that with Superman, someone's got their balls in the lettuce?
Dude, this has gone so far away from what it was originally. I just threw it out there, but it's like it's different now.
That's how it works, though. You name something, then you develop the meaning later. So
sure.
Yeah. He also says that there has been moments in the comics and animation where Green Lantern's construct did not come directly out his ring. So you ever seen these?
No. I saw the last. I think I saw the last trailer.
Yeah.
And it looked like the one time when Guy Gardner was going, it just looked like he flipped off and the shit came up. I think I did see something come out of the ring and it kind of like goes under the ground, but then comes out.
Like the construct itself doesn't need, like if he wants to make a box across the room, it doesn't need to come out the ring here and then travel there, but it can kind of like send the power that way. Maybe you see a fucking line or something and then the construct pops up.
You absolutely see the line. There's a direct connection between the ring and the construct.
Okay.
It's always a direct connection. There is no, you see the ring, it glows, and then the construct shows up over there. That's not the way that works.
Got it. Okay. Eat Beef Yummy says everyone is sleeping on Superman. Snyder fanboys can't get out of their mom's basement long enough to touch grass. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Look at the views on the trailer. Superman dominates Fantastic Four in views. That's an indicator of fan excitement. Maybe. P.S. Mutant Mayhem was a race and gender swap nightmare, and Adrian would be so mad to know that. Well, no, you saw Mutant Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess let me Eat Beef Yummy. It's funny that I'm calling like that your name. That's what I'm referring to. But anyways, Eat Beef Yummy. What do you
delicious?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? I know that. No Diddy. April's character was changed dramatically, right? Because normally she's the hot reporter. So that was stupid. I agree with that. Dude. But outside of that, I mean, they're turtles and a rat. I don't see how the race. I guess I don't see how it was a gender swap nightmare unless I'm misremembering the movie. But yeah, I agree with April Jones. That was a travesty to see that happen. Anyways, John Bonvon says, "Oh, he's helping me say the name of that hammer behind you, Millionaire." My millionaire. It
sounds like millionaire.
Millionaire. Right? Yes. He also says, at first I didn't like Robert Downey Jr. as Doom, but I'm over it. He can do it. But think that either Luke Evans or Nikolaj Coster-Waldau should have been Doom. John, I love you, bro. But didn't the Russo brothers tell you Robert Downey Jr. was the only one? No.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that it would have the level of interest it has now if it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. Like we talked about that almost being a form of marketing, right? Like you got James Gunn responding to people on Twitter as his marketing for this movie instead of the post-credit scene, instead of the build up, instead of all that good stuff, you have Robert Downey Jr.'s name attached to it. And I think he's gonna knock it out of the park. I really do.
All right. While we were yammering, right?
Yep.
I'm looking up Tania Miller for Jocasta.
And the verdict?
No.
I
just stop. Stop. Please, somebody, please stop with the nonsense.
Yeah. No, we're gonna it's gonna get this right there. All right. Yeah, I mean on that, we're done. No. Maple Grove says, love the new camera angles. Yes, love seeing progressing production. There you go. Getting better every week. Look forward to both shows every week. It's becoming a routine. Thanks for answering my question, of course. Also, just wondering, what your opinion on how TV shows come out now? Like Last of Us was 8 episodes, and now season 3 in 2027. Stranger Things, it's been like 20 years since season 4. Yeah, I remember when shows would be 20 episodes. This is kind of what you're talking about, like with the soap operas. 20 episodes every year, and I missed that. Thankfully, I still have some of that in anime. Thanks, guys. See y'all on other stuff. Yeah, Maple Grove, I fucking hate it. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Stranger Things, I don't care how good the final season is, you're going to be distracted at the fact that we have 35-year-olds playing 16-year-olds now.
Right.
They were the right age when the show, especially because of that. It's not like they always were old. Like Grease,
right.
They're 30-year-olds playing high schoolers, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
We started out when Millie Bobby Brown was like 10 years old, where she looked like she was playing a 10-year-old or whatever the fuck it was. Now she's like 25 years old playing a senior in high school? It's ridiculous.
I'm rewatching one of my favorites, Stargate.
Okay.
The series.
Yep.
So 10 seasons.
Yep.
They had 18 to 20 shows per season. Dude.
Right.
I'm like, when is this fucking season ever going to stop? 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
And they focused on the content, not I think they're trying to spend too much time and money and effort trying to make it look a certain way instead of making it feel a certain way, which is what attracts people.
Right.
The feel attracts, not the look, right?
Right.
So I agree with you, dude. It's like you got 7, 8 in one season when we used to get 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Come on, dog.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Even with, as much as I love Daredevil Born Again, I'm like, I wish it was longer. Like, it sucks that we have to wait, another couple years to see this story continue. Like, the Netflix Daredevil, 18 fucking episodes.
Right.
Why is the new one got to be like 3? But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of it.
Go back to the old soap opera method of delivery, dude.
Yep.
Every day live that life.
Absolutely. Bloody Knuckles show in Edward 170. Okay, buddy. Why y'all such Marvel shills? The fuck? What's a shill, by the
exactly.
way?
It sounds like we lean heavily toward Marvel versus DC.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Bloody Knuckle with your dumbass name. Because they're fucking better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, why are you so much? Because they put out better content. I don't know. Why does the Chiefs have so many fans, Adrian? Because they win fucking Super Bowls. Why don't you like the Browns? Because they suck. Come on, dude. They're disappointing. Captain's real budget was way more. You don't know. That's the other thing. You know, people say Captain America's budget was whatever, 380 million, but Marvel came out and said it was 180. Okay, you don't fucking know that. Someone made, maybe it is, maybe it wasn't. You don't know. So shut the fuck up. We need a shut the fuck up button. And then he says that if you're going to take a risk, you need to make money. Black Adam made 390 mil, yada, yada, yada. Okay. James Gunn's Suicide Squad was awesome. Y'all should call this the Marvel podcast and don't eat Chick-fil-A anymore because they change ingredients. Terrible for you. Okay, so now he's my nutrition coach and he's telling me how I should think about things. Then he goes, stop hating, otherwise keep up the good work.
Wow.
So Sons of Sekhmet asked him, why don't you use punctuation? Then my boy Jay Shot it said, bro said, stop hating while hating on the podcast. Yeah, exactly, motherfucker. You can always just rewatch Suicide Squad, little bro. Just click off. Right. Thank you, Jay. But like, dude, like you got your few minutes. That's you always say. You just want their few minutes, dude. Okay. So hey, you with your dumbass name and your dumbass opinions. But are we that delusional? Has Marvel not been putting out better products than DC for a long time?
Absolutely.
Just because the last movie wasn't the best movie out of their 30 plus movie catalog, DC's got what, 3 maybe?
Right.
Like they put out better shit.
Right. Even their animation is going downhill.
It's switched, dude. Yep. DC animation used to be top tier.
Absolutely.
Now it fucking sucks. And then Marvel's animation is up on the upswing. I mean, you got Cape Crusader versus X-Men 97. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. It's night and day. Yep. X-Men 97 unalives it, as they say. So, Bloody Knuckle, yeah, we appreciate your support, too, as fucked up as it was. But
I wish you could take a fucking pill to unremember these dumbass words.
Unremember, yes. You've been unremembered, Bloody Knuckle show, or whatever the fuck you call yourself. But no, we do appreciate your support. Well, he said like he's calling y'all hating while he's hating on you. Like, yeah, okay. Brandon Jones, and secondly, in a siege. Oh, wait, let me read the other comment first. So, took my dad to see Thunderbolts. It was my second time watching it. My dad is a huge comic fan who's never heard of Sentry. His only question at the end was, why would they make a character that powerful? Then I had to show him how authors write him out of stories in the most ridiculous ways. They really do. Like someone says something to piss him off and he's fucking wacky again and he goes cries in his watchtower for 6 days. But you got to let a character that powerful.
Right.
He would just wreck everything.
I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, you know, how sometimes you get so pissed off about something. Last of Us.
Yes.
And you get, and it's like, I wish I had a superpower so I can blah, 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 right? Dude, there would be nobody on the planet. If a human had some of these powers, there would be nobody else on the planet.
Right.
Because everybody is a fucking savage, right?
Yep.
Or you'd have to figure out some vampire shit where I can't really kill everybody. I got to like let them get to a certain population. Then I come out at night and sneak and take a couple of them and then go back to sleep for another 100 years. People would be wiped off the face of the planet if humans had powers like that, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So his question is along the lines of, is Sentry the most powerful character that has been introduced in the MCU so far?
Sentry.
You got Thanos, you got Scarlet Witch, you got Adam Warlock, you got Hulk, you got Thor. Is Sentry the most powerful?
I would say no. Thanos, who's also in my discussion later, he's up there, dude. Thanos, Darkseid, those kind of entities.
Doctor Strange.
What?
Doctor Strange is up there too. No?
Are we talking about like different kind of power? Or
yeah, it's just strength? Not strength, just most powerful.
Well, out of all of those, I would say Doctor Strange is the most powerful.
Okay. Thor as well, right? I mean, Thor, we've seen some.
No, Doctor Strange and Wanda.
Yeah.
Because think about this. So Doctor Strange, one of Doctor Strange's things is this. He can make himself the richest person in the universe if he wants to, because he can just conjure the shit up.
Right.
Right. Just perpetual wealth or perpetual health, or he can be anywhere. I mean, that's power.
True. So no, Sentry's not the most.
No.
But he's up there.
Yeah.
He's probably, I mean, he's top 10, maybe top 5. He's up there.
I would put him up there as far as raw strength.
Yeah.
But definitely not power overall.
Like, even Captain Marvel, as much as, the Brie Larson portrayal kind of is annoying, but she's powerful as shit. I mean,
she is, but then she doesn't have the strength factor.
Got it.
So it just depends.
And I would look at what Wanda's done from, altering reality to massive amounts of people for. Right. He even tricked Doctor Strange into thinking he was like at her house. It wasn't. She mixed up her wording, which is how he caught her. He had no fucking idea where he was.
Right.
So I would say I would put her top.
Yeah.
But Sentry, he'd probably be top 5. I mean, he is pretty damn powerful.
No, I put him up probably top 3.
Okay.
3 or 4.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think he's the most powerful, but pretty damn close. Then he says, and secondly, in Siege of Asgard, Sentry literally ripped Ares apart with his bare hands. How does Ares scale up to Thor? Don't really know much about Marvel's version of Ares. Do you know anything about power level? Is he close to Thor? I think Thor's more powerful.
So I don't really know about Marvel's Ares, but DC's Ares. So Wonder Woman kicked his ass.
Got it.
And Wonder Woman is a class 7 when it comes to strength. Wonder Woman, Superman, they're around the same age.
Okay.
Around the same. They're definitely not the same age.
No.
Because Wonder Woman is immortal. Superman is long lived.
Got it.
But strength wise, they're about the same. Wonder Woman defeated Ares. So I'm assuming that Ares is on that level, which would put him probably like a class 6. Okay. So around a Thing or Juggernaut or Colossus level.
Okay. Got it. So I would assume Thor's more powerful than Ares, or stronger.
No,
you don't
no.
think so?
I would say they're about the same.
About the same. Okay.
But they have different powers, though.
Yeah.
Remember, Ares, he's the god of war,
right.
So he has other mystical powers beyond. Like he has the ability to control the dead, things like that. Which when Wonder Woman defeated him, and on the DC side, she took that control away from him, even though she doesn't use it.
Got it. Sons of Sec, Matt says, predicting the best part of Ironheart will be Mephisto, just like Fisk was the best part of Echo. Yeah, I mean, possibly. I think they can do more with Ironheart than they could with Echo.
Right.
But I guess it remains to be seen if they do.
Yeah. I would hate for Ironheart to get the Echo treatment, dude.
Yeah.
That would be sad.
Yep. Yeah, I hope not. Let's see.
Because the worst thing that would happen is that we would get a Mephisto series.
Right. Well, speaking of, Sons of Sekhmet also says, Adrian, you did Mephisto. Thank you so much. That was a hidden gem last week. Love this hidden gem. And Adrian wore the red when talking about it. I don't know if that was planned or not, but
it was.
And then he says Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto. High five. Yeah, I think he can pull it off, dude. Magneto fix. He took one of the 24 super serums you can practically get off of Amazon, or a retro scene where he gets a blood transfusion from Wolverine. It slows down his aging. Isn't there a mutant who can affect time? I'm sure there's a mutant who can affect time. But yeah, that goes back to that. Is it at the point where you got to kind of change Magneto's origin from a time standpoint? Like, are we too far from the Holocaust for that to make sense in a modern movie without him being 89 fucking years old?
Right. You got to have something that's tragedy. I'm still not down with the race swapping, but you can move him up in time, definitely.
Yeah.
But it would have to be dramatic, because one of the things that drives him is the having lived through such a traumatic event.
Yeah.
You need like a traumatic event to be Magneto.
Yeah, it is crazy, but it's almost like we're getting close to that point in time where it's not going to make sense in a regular timeline unless there's some mutants don't age as fast as other individuals, or some, or maybe that becomes one of his powers.
Right.
I
mean, and also speaking of balls and lettuce, you got to have a Charles Xavier or whatever, massaging and mind fucking.
Correct.
So I'm sure that's traumatic as well.
Yes, absolutely. The Captain Canada, he says, AWAB, another week, another banger. AWAB, yo, that shirt's coming soon.
That shirt's coming.
It is. Sup, guys? Loving the new graphic screens and much better sound, too. Only up from here. I don't mind the delays for Doomsday and Secret Wars. More time to polish to make it worth the wait. Yes. Millionaire, pronounced millionaire. Is that how you say it, Adrian? Millionaire. You know, I'm gonna stick with millionaire. I like it better. But I appreciate the support. I'm also more excited about Fantastic Four than Superman. Yeah, because you're a smart fellow, Captain Canada.
Yo, send a sound wave so we have to try to figure this shit out. Yo, somebody actually pronounced that shit.
Seriously. I need a fucking dialect coach or something.
There you go.
Also more excited about Fantastic Four Superman. Yeah, suggestion for you guys. Would it be cool if you watch a trailer live when you record the episode? Watch your reactions live before you watch it at home would be dope. We call We React. Yeah, I thought about it, dude. I don't like those motherfuckers that do that. Like, I mean, it just I hate it. I see the videos on TikTok and it's like I'm watching it because I want to see the trailer. Then I see your dumb ass the whole time. Dude, he just walked by the screen. Why are you like fucking, you know, finishing in your pants? Like, slow down, dude.
So somebody else's reaction has spoiled it.
Yeah.
Even going,
for me.
Even going into that.
Yes.
I agree with you. It's like you look at some of these people, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Seriously.
It's not all that.
No, like, oh, they showed the Marvel look. Oh shit, oh, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. That's where you need to shut the fuck up button.
Yeah.
All right. Mephisto would be a dope character to see in the MCU at some point. Yeah, hopefully we're thinking with Ironheart. Let's see what else. Pure Venom, Marshall Ali cannot beat T'Challa. Just bring in Michael B. Jordan. Come on, Marvel. Yeah. Pure Venom also says, yo, Mike, Adrian, another banger. Yes, it's another week, another banger, Pure Venom. Have to agree with that dude, Pablo. The graphics are great. Keep evolving the show. I've watched a lot of podcasts. This is my all-time favorite, hands down. We appreciate that, bro. I think delays are stupid, but also necessary to make a great game movie. GTA 6 also was delayed. Yep, and I was happy about that because when it comes out, it'll be great. Same with the movies. Yeah, I agree. Slap Wrestling also says, thanks for answering my questions. Another week, another banger. Mike, you're the only person who caught the slap of the bass reference. Remember, I told you, dude, I fucking knew what I was talking about. I made 2 edits. Yeah, appreciate the edits on TikTok. Yo, check out Slapper Wrestling on TikTok, dude. He's making some edits for us. 3 questions. Do you think Hercules tease and Thor will lead to anything? Probably.
Yeah, Thor getting fucked
By Hercules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hercules in the comics.
Yeah. Oh, like that kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's on some Diddy shit. Okay.
Yeah,
damn.
don't put Hercules around nobody, dude.
Damn. You know what? I don't think it will lead to anything, honestly. I think that was that stupid fucking Love and Thunder movie, and I actually hope it doesn't, because that version of Hercules was a joke. Well, actually, no, that wasn't her. That was his Zeus, his dad. Remember the fucking
Oh yeah.
Anyways, haven't seen Secret Invasion yet. Do y'all think the Skrulls will play a part in Secret Wars? No, because of how bad they butchered the Skrulls. In the comics, the Skrulls are badass.
Yeah.
They made them like weaklings, and
Well, I think the concept here is that they're refugees and they're really just trying to find a home. So they're not the war antagonist. They're the kind of the victim thing.
Correct.
It's almost like they try to make a Holocaust situation out of the Skrulls.
When in the comics, I mean, the whole Secret Invasion is all based on, oh, we're refugees, but we're going to come to your planet. The same way y'all took over this planet, we're going to take over this planet. Right. They literally say, like, we know what you guys would have done, so we're going to do the same thing.
Right.
And then they made them, these little, oh, poor me, and then the show is just a disaster. So I don't think so, just because of how bad they screwed them up. I would like for them to get their redemption, because they are pretty cool characters.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm watching Fantastic Four animated series before watching the movies. Have you guys seen it? Thoughts? The one from the 90s. I've seen a handful of episodes.
I've seen clips of
it. Was pretty good.
Yeah.
For the time. And then let's see, that dude Pablo. Damn, these upgraded graphics and the split screen views. I remember when the soundboard was added, and I thought that was top tier. Bro, we just keep bringing it. So we don't have our balls in the lettuce, Adrian, here. We keep mob the lettuce, okay? We only do what's necessary.
That's right.
Well, I appreciate all the comments. Let's check Spotify real quick. And yeah, no, I'm not getting into TikTok today, Adrian, because I'm interested in this hidden gem you got going on over there. So let's check Spotify real quick, and then we will get into the hidden gem. And appreciate all you guys watching us on both platforms. Let's see. We got Drunken Legend. He says, if you guys stop feeding Marvel ideas, then they can stop stealing them and holding up production of movies.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Yes. OG.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that the ideas just roll.
Yeah.
And we cast them into the universe.
Yep.
Whoever takes them, take them.
It just comes natural.
Yeah.
Dude. Yep. OG Dirte. See, I love OG. He's on both. He says, Mike, you're right about Cody. Should have asked for a rematch. Absolutely. Instead of a tag team match, it makes no sense. Silver Surfer is one of my favorite characters, but I agree with you, Adrian. He doesn't need a movie or cartoon. He just needs to pop up and show out.
Yep.
Like sometimes that's better, dude.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Michael R. Hancock, regarding Magneto's origin for the MCU, keep it the same, Holocaust survivor, but make part of his mutation is that he ages slower. There you go.
That's perfect.
I'll be down with that.
That makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, because over the years, like they made Sue Storm more powerful, they made Jean Grey more powerful, but crazy, all this kind of thing. So they can just, they can throw that thing in there.
Right. Yep. And then you got C's. He asked us about Hulk being in Brand New Day. How do we feel about it? Well, we talked about it earlier, dude. I am insanely excited for a rage monster fucking Hulk to be fighting Superman or Spider-Man. Not Superman. He beat Superman's ass, but Spider-Man.
Yo, what's up with all these political aspects? Like in in Superman. Oh, you're supposedly an American and you go into you invade a foreign country and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then you get into the X-Men versus the Avengers. There's Sokovia Accord and blah 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 blah. It's like, come on, don't make everything a political, dude.
Right.
I mean, so what? The reason I said is, so what if the Hulk goes and wrecks New York? Everybody wrecks New York.
True.
Just like every monster in Japan wrecks Japan.
Yeah, that's okay. Just don't go to anyone else's country. But hey, bring that destruction back here to New York. That is true.
Oh my God, Hulk, he's hulking. Yeah. Shut up.
Yake 82, last one. He says, Sparky from Canada. All right, listening every Tuesday for a few months now makes a 12-hour shift tolerable. Damn, he's putting in 12-hour shifts, dude. My man putting in that work. Love the hidden gems and the honest feedback on Only Comics. Cheers. Well, cheers to you, bro. Well, that is We Respond. Appreciate all the comments. Even my man, dude, I had to knock some sense into him real quick, bloody knuckles, but it's all love, bro. Hey, that's the risk you take, though, if you leave a comment like that.
Yeah,
but no, I honestly appreciate all the support. Even the one that was partial hate. But Adrian, hidden gem. Who is the hidden gem this week? Or what is the hidden gem, I should say?
Good point. So, if you've seen a handful of hidden gems, you'll realize that hidden gems aren't always people characters, right?
Okay.
So we've had Gotham City as characters. We've had God levels, and we're gonna go down that road again today.
Okay.
So we were talking earlier about Spider-Man and the Hulk and things like that. Well, guess what? Today's hidden gem is going to be power. Just not who has them. I mean, not an individual and their power, but powers in general. And then we're going to sprinkle in who falls into what category. Now, and there's a reason that I did this is because I knew it was going to come up with Spider-Man versus Hulk, the verses. But then I'm also going to look at a Superman, right? And how he is perceived versus what he really is and what he can really do. So when it comes to power, so they rated all these characters across different things. There's intelligence, there's strength, there's stamina, which is also like agility and reflexes.
Yeah.
There's speed, there's durability, energy projection, and fighting ability. Now, just because and the scale is 1 to 7, and just because you're a 7 in one category, that doesn't mean that you're a 7 in all categories, right? Like, for example, they had a Wonder Woman at a 7 on durability and fighting skill, but like a 4 on intelligence, which is crazy to me, right?
Okay.
But of course, then they skew it and put men like Superman at a 5 or a 6. I'm like, come on, dog, you can't be doing that. So anyway, intelligence. Number 1. So the scale, number 1 is the bottom, and 7 is the highest.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 7 across all these categories, 1 is slow, impaired, the short bus.
Yeah.
Normal, which is, most people out there. That's not us. That's not you and me.
No, God no.
Learned is, you're quiet. You go to college. You do some things.
You're educated.
Yeah. Well, yeah. you got like a Daredevil or Hawkeye or She-Hulk thing, those kind of people. Gifted, Emma Frost, Spider-Man. We talked about Spider-Man earlier. His intellect. Genius. So we got like the Blue Marvel, Magneto, Black Panther.
Right.
Bruce Wayne.
Mike and Adrian.
Definitely
in there, yeah.
The Joker.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't think about how smart he is. I mean, you gotta be genius level to be, first of all, to be dealing with Batman.
Correct.
But also to stay ahead of him, get himself out of all the shit that he gets himself into, things like that.
You almost got to be genius to be that crazy.
Exactly. Barry Allen, The Flash, right? So
Ezra Miller.
Not at all.
Okay.
Super genius. Thanos. Darkseid. Martian Manhunter. Richards. Stark. Luthor. Right.
Yeah.
And then you got Omniscient.
Is Hank Pym in there? Where's Pym at?
I'm just throwing some people in there. I'm not covering
would you
everybody.
Say him super?
I would put him super genius.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, there's scales even inside of.
He's in that bracket, but you're gonna put Tony and Reed above. Yeah,
exactly.
Matter of fact, in I think it was in Secret Invasion, he being Tony refers to Hank and Reed as the two smartest people he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, those are the smartest people that he knows. That doesn't mean that they're smarter than him. Think about that.
No, he definitely is not going to say that. No.
But also, you got to think about what are they smart in? Reed is mostly smart in astrophysical space shit, right? Tony is looked at as the engineer, the mechanical engineer.
Right.
Pym is more the theoretical kind of a person, things like that.
Yeah.
So there's levels within the categories, but then there's the categories themselves. Omniscient, that's pretty much all knowing. Then you get into like the one above all, gods and things like that. Strength. So strength is defined as the ability to lift weight over one's head. Okay. Not bench pressing. Which is lifting something over your head is a lot harder than bench pressing.
Hell yeah, it is.
So if you think about it that way, that changes the game on strength, right?
Right.
So if you can bench 400 pounds, but typically you probably, because you're using smaller muscles, you're probably going to be doing 225, 250 over your head, right? If you can do 400 over your head, you benching probably 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds.
Right.
I'm just saying, hypothetically.
Right.
So strength. Weak. Cannot lift one's own body weight. Right. Normal. Able to lift over your head one's own body weight or up to twice one's body weight.
That's considered normal.
That's considered normal.
Wow.
So that means 99% of Americans is probably weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why you could not take out a gorilla with 100 of you weak ass motherfuckers.
Right.
So, anyways.
Peak human, able to lift over twice one's body weight up to 800 pounds.
My boy Batman's in there.
So you get the Captain Americas, the Black Panthers, the Punisher, things like that. Superhuman, Wolverines, Batman. Superhuman, able to lift over 800 pounds up to 25 tons.
Shit.
So that's a huge range.
Huge range, yeah.
Right. So Doom, Spider-Man, Deadpool. Superhuman, able to lift over 25 tons up to 75. Carol Danvers, Rogue, Aquaman. 75 to 100 tons. Lantern, Swamp Thing, Iron Man, even though it's the suit, not Tony, right? The Thing. And then you got Incalculable. That's in excess of 100 tons. Superman, Wonder Woman, the Hulk, Shazam, Black Adam, Thor, Thanos, Darkseid, those characters. So again, we're talking taking a weight and putting over your head as opposed to laying down and bench pressing. Like Superman, he can bench press the planet, right? So that's crazy. So that gives you a whole different perspective of strength as is defined in the comics. The next is stamina. So number one is below normal. I get up and walk to the door and I'm out of breath. Normal.
99% of Americans.
We don't get shit on that.
Yes.
Normal.
Yeah.
Then you got peak human, able to fight for an hour. right? Enhanced, able to fight several hours. Wolverine, and you could throw Deadpool in there, probably some Batman,
Right.
Things like that,
Yep.
right? Superhuman, able to fight 24 hours.
Shit.
Right? Metahuman, able to fight for many days.
Okay.
And then you have immeasurable, so you never tire out because there's, you probably got you're drawing energy from the cosmos or there's some other kind of extra dimensional, something is feeding you without you having to stop.
Got it.
Right? So agility and reflexes. They're both kind of similar, but you got the basic below normal, above, peak, enhanced, superhuman, and metahuman. And I'm not going to talk about that until I get to another thing. But the next one is speed, right? So the ability to move over land by running or flight. Again, so this is why I didn't mention the agility or reflexes in depth, because speed is not to be confused. Remember we talked about Spider-Man versus the Hulk?
Right.
Hulk has he's speed, he's fast, he can run. Spider-Man is speedy, he's got better reflexes than he is fast. That's why I think the Hulk could snatch him up, right?
Got it.
Also, not to be confused with reflexes as in, I already said that, Spider-Man. So you can have great speed running, right? But just think about it like a bullet. Fired out the gun, you got great speed. You don't have a lot of maneuverability.
Right.
Right? So speed, below normal, subsonic, superhuman. So below Mach 1. So approximately 760 miles an hour. You got the Hulk. They put Spider-Man in there, but I don't think that's really accurate because he cannot move. He can't run 760 miles an hour. He's got great reflexes, but not that speed.
Right.
Speed of sound, peak velocity, Mach 1 to Mach 2, boost to gold. Supersonic, Mach 2 to orbital velocity. That's 17,000 miles an hour. Iron Man, Magneto, Rogue, anybody that can go from the ground to outer space, basically.
Yeah.
Speed of light, peak velocity, 186,000 miles per second. Superman, Captain Marvel, Green Lantern. And then you got warp speed, transcending light speed or teleporting. You got the Flash. Now notice the separation here. They put Flash at 7 and Superman at 6. And they're always trying to put him, in a speed contest.
Yeah.
And Flash basically slows down for Superman.
Feels bad for him.
Yeah, it feels bad for him. They just it's optics.
Right.
Because they usually do charity, things like that.
Yeah.
Flash would smoke Superman.
You don't want to embarrass Superman.
Nah,
he's
can't
like
do
the
that.
leader, right? Don't outshine the master type shit. But
Right.
Flash knows y'all dust your ass. Shut
Exactly. I did this in Gem about the Flash where it was a bet and these aliens came in from another galaxy and they was like, hey, we want your fastest. We're going to have this speed contest. We're going to go over here to this other galaxy, right? And whoever can get to Earth first will control Earth. And Barry Allen's The Flash was able to run from another galaxy. Now, despite the fact that, you're going through space and all that kind of stuff, but he was able to run from another galaxy back to Earth faster than these aliens could teleport. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
So Flash, Sentinel, Gladiator, Silver Surfer. Those are the characters that fall into that speed category. Durability, the ability to resist or recover from bodily injury. Talked about the Hulk, things like that. Even Spider-Man with, he's like not a super, he's not known for his healing factor, but he obviously has it, right?
Yeah. That's never talked about. He does have some, not obviously as strong as Wolverine,
Right.
Hulk, and these guys, but he does heal faster than a normal human being.
Correct. So you got weak. So it's just not happening for you, dude. You consistently, it's like glass, right?
Yep.
Normal, which is, most people.
Mm-hmm.
Enhanced, you got the Captain Americas.
Right.
Us.
Yeah.
Regenerative, Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw the Hulk in there. Anybody that can heal, right? Bulletproof, Luke Cage.
Right.
Right? Superhuman, you got the Wonder Mans, Supergirl, Spawn, Namor. Then you got the virtually indestructible, Juggernaut, Thanos, Darkseid, Doomsday. Those are those categories. energy projection, the ability to discharge energy. Okay. So none, you can't do shit.
Right.
Then you got the ability to discharge on contact. These are your premature ejaculators, right?
Okay.
You know, it's just like touch you, like, oh, right?
Yes.
Short range, short duration, single energy type, right? Medium range, medium duration. So who would fall into that? So if you think about Cyclops, Havoc, so there was one thing, when Havoc came out, because he was at a point where he couldn't, his suit actually contains his energy.
Okay.
Just like Scott's glasses contain his, right?
He has to do that hula hoop motion to get it going?
No,
Okay.
not that at all. But sometimes it'll just bubble up in him and he can't control it. One time he did that. He ran out in the snow and he just let go. And his energy, first of all, he turned everything around him into glass. And then his energy shot up into space. So I would categorize that as the next level, number 5, long range, long duration, single energy type. So you got the Emma Frost, the Johnny and the Sue Storm, the Cyclops, Carol Danvers. Number 6, ability to discharge multiple forms of energy. Storm, Doom, Ultron, Stark, Wanda, Thor. I'm thinking about, I ran across his name, and I'll probably do her as a hidden gem. Ilyana Rasputina.
Okay.
She's like sorcery kind of thing. She's pretty interesting when I was growing up.
That's magic, right?
Yep.
Colossus' sister.
Yes. Jean Grey and Strange.
Yeah.
And then you got number 7, virtually unlimited command of all forms of energy. Galactus. Franklin Richards, The Living Tribunal, Beyonder, Hope Summers, Phoenix, Darkseid.
Yeah.
And then the last, fighting ability, proficiency in hand-to-hand combat. And the one that I'm going to highlight in here is going to be interesting. So you got poor, where you have none. Normal, you walking down the street, somebody tries to snatch your purse and you can trip them. Some training. So let's say street fighter, boxer, things like that.
Yeah.
Enhanced, experienced fighter. So like Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Green Arrow, and listen to this name, Superman. Now, perfect example. Just because you're that powerful in strength, you can bench press a planet, that doesn't mean that your fighting skill is good.
Right.
So like if you take Superman's power away, he ain't shit.
Nope.
He can't defend himself.
This is why Wonder Woman would beat his ass.
Correct. Because Wonder Woman was born a warrior. That's all that she was trained to do, because she, as a goddess, was designed to defend her island from any foe, including other gods.
Right.
So I always thought that was interesting. I didn't think a lot of people got that. And as a matter of fact, there was some scenarios where Batman set up a training room where he was able to recreate the Red Sun so that Superman was depowered so that he could train Superman on hand-to-hand combat. Master of a single form of combat, Daredevil. And it's crazy. So Superman is at a 4 with Catwoman and Harley Quinn and Green Arrow, but then you got like a Daredevil who's at a 5, right?
Right.
So again, fighting ability has nothing to do with the strength part.
Right.
Right. So then number 6, master of several forms of combat. You got Batman, the Black Panther, ninjas, Captain America. And then you got master of all forms of combat, Iron Fist, Taskmaster. And Taskmaster, I put the Taskmaster there not because he has trained, but because he can just look at your fighting skill and adopt your fighting skill.
The Taskmaster is badass.
He is, which is why I was surprised that they killed her off, so quickly in this.
They did a fucking horrible job of representing Taskmaster in the MCU.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I thought it was interesting to break down these different things and show like the different categories. Like I said, Wonder Woman, even though she's real high on durability, real high on strength, she's immortal, but, they put her at like a 4 when it comes to intelligence. You got like Thor and things like that. He's at like a 3 or 4.
He's kind of a dumbass.
He's kind of a dumbass. So one thing, what they saying is one thing really has nothing to do with the other one. The one that was the closest to being consistent across all the categories, Silver Surfer.
Really?
Yeah. Speed, intelligence, power, energy projection, all of that stuff, durability, everything. So
but on a scale of do we want a solo movie, we're going to put that at about of a 1 for the Silver Surfer, okay?
You're right, exactly. So that's it, dude. Powers, man. I mean, I thought it was interesting how all that stuff, breaks down and who falls into what. You're like, if you depower Superman, fucking Harley Quinn is going to beat his ass.
Right.
Come on, dog.
Damn. And if they're playing chess, Joker is going to get him in checkmate every single time, dude.
Well, the Joker got him regardless.
Right.
So.
True. That was awesome, dude. I wasn't expecting that. I thought you were going to do Millionaire.
No. Next
Millionaire. What? It's same shit, I didn't grow up speaking Asgardian, so excuse me.
I think it's something along the line of Mjolnir.
Millionaire?
Yeah.
Millionaire.
I don't know. Somebody send us a soundbite. Pronounce.
Yes. Anyways, well, another great hidden gem, Adrian. We're getting some overtime today, dude. You guys are getting more for your buck. Well, it's a free show, so. All right, well, we're going to wrap up like we always do with a little agree to disagree. So, Adrian, if you want to pull up our little split screen here, everybody loves so much, Nope.
This one?
Nope, just me and you. There we go. So if you want to pull up our split screen, everybody loves so much, Adrian. There it is. Look at that. And then last week we were unintentionally matching, by the way. It's funny. I was talking shit about the wrestlers wearing the same outfit. And here me and you are with almost identical red shirts. But, believe it or not, we don't have, hair, makeup, and wardrobe here. We just roll out of bed, throw something on, and show up. So we got it down today. We got a little contrast here.
No wardrobe.
No.
Definitely no makeup or hair.
Nothing, dude. God. At least we got some interns helping us out, the Legion of Interns. So
that's it.
All right, let's wrap this up so we can get into some other stuff on Wednesday. All right, you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's fucking go.
We always need Logan to kick us off. Number 1, I fully support Spider-Man versus Hulk in Brand New Day. Make it happen, Marvel.
Let's do it.
Smart Hulk was one of the dumbest things ever done in the MCU.
Absolutely.
Thor Ragnarok was better than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It was.
Take that, Snyder boys. Wonder Woman would beat Superman like a redheaded stepchild.
I don't know about a redheaded stepchild, but she would beat his ass.
All right, so you agree? Disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Edward Norton was a better Bruce Banner than Mark Ruffalo.
Absolutely.
The best representation of Hulk in the MCU was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Season 2 of The Last of Us was about half as good as season 1.
Yeah, that.
It's why they lost half the viewership, know? Bella
That's
Ramsey
crazy.
did not cook as Ellie.
No.
And last but not least, Only Comics is the best comic show on the internet.
Absolutely.
You agree with that?
I do.
It's got me and you.
That's it.
Whether the show has me and you. Well, other stuff, but outside of that, none. So guys, we appreciate all of y'all checking us out. Go to onlycomicsmerch.com. You get these comics. My boy, it was I just had my man's name. It was Brandon Jones, I believe, who was asking us about the Punisher Omnibus. So we got that there for you, bro. We got Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. There's some other Devil's Reigns on there. It's another great one where the recent episode or recent season of Daredevil Born Again was kind of based on. But we appreciate all you guys checking us out. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if get ready for other stuff, dude. What do you got? What are you talking about this week and other stuff?
I don't know.
You know,
I'm thinking deep diving, we're gonna do some deep diving.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do some deep diving. That's all. That's the tease. So,
that's the tease.
And where do you find out what we're gonna deep dive in on other stuff this Wednesday? So all I know, I got some MK Ultra stuff. So by the end of the show, you all will be mind controlled by me, and I'll force you to subscribe again and share this with all your friends. So, Adrian, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely,
guys. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next week right here on Only Comics.
Peace.